It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: 10 years since the 7/7 London bombings. 2 men guilty after death of Buckinghamshire bodybuilder. And Bedfordshire Cricket Club fed up with nuisance bikes.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A service at St Paul's Cathedral is one of a series of events taking place today to mark 10 years since the London bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. More than 700 people were injured. Paralympian Martine Wright from Tring lost her legs in the attacks, having been sat close to one of the bombers on the Circle line.
After I woke up, after 10 days of being in a coma, I didn't really think of him. I wasn't angry. For me, I couldn't understand how someone could do such an awful thing. I still don't understand it.
2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of conspiracy to produce and supply Class C steroids following the death of bodybuilder Sean Clitheroe in 2012. Mr Clitheroe died after taking the drug DNP at the Apollo Gym in High Wycombe. It's an industrial chemical not suitable for human consumption. Peter Perkins from Hazelmere and Jason King from Great Missenden will be sentenced later this month. Greece's Prime Minister will set out how he plans to solve his country's debt crisis in a meeting with Eurozone leaders in Brussels today. France and Germany have called on him to come forward with serious proposals. Police are continuing to appeal for witnesses to yesterday morning's crash in Bedfordshire, in which 1 person died and 2 others were seriously injured. The crash, involving a van and a lorry, happened at Chorlton just after 7 o'clock. A report published today is expected to show that a lack of competition between the big 6 energy firms cost consumers more than £1 billion a year between 2009 and 2013. It's believed the Competition and Markets Authority will say households paid about £50 a year too much. Anne Robinson from Uswitch says more people need to look for the best deals.
This does not surprise me at all. And the reason why the companies have been able to get away with this for so long is that, we haven't had an effective market. We haven't had real competition working. So few of us have actually engaged in the market. So, partly it's our own fault.
Shops could open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. George Osborne will give elected mayors and councils the power to relax the laws locally. A cricket club in Houghton Regis say they're considering moving out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch. The Houghton Chargers play at the village green but have had persistent problems with young people riding motorbikes across their pitch and outfield. In sport, Andy Murray is through to the Wimbledon quarter-finals after beating Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets. Roger Federer is also through, but number 1 seed Novak Djokovic resumes later today at 2 sets all against the South African Kevin Anderson. The weather: outbreaks of heavy rain this morning, but becoming drier and brighter this afternoon. A maximum temperature 22 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Hold on, hang on, no, wrong one, no, hang on, oh, blimey, hang on. This one, thank you, yeah, here we go. Oh, play. Happy birthday, Ringo!
Anymore.
Jen. Iain, stop dissing Thordeis's timing. It's a case of you calling the pot calling the kettle black. You're always spoiling Wally's show with silly noises and clips. Haven't done that much for months, Jen. Not since I got told off. And it's kind of a simple thing to know when shows are, I don't know, supposed to, what's the word? Oh yeah, end. Jog on, Jen. Not in the mood today, love. Ta-ta! The BBC may have lost its balls. I think I've just found them, guys. I think I've just found them. Every time I see your face, it reminds me of the place we used to go. Happy birthday, Ringo! All I've got is a photograph. I realize you're not coming back anymore. This morning it's Ringo Starr special. 03459 455 555 is the. Is that? Did I give out the right number there?
Yeah, will do. Yeah.
Kelly, great to have you on board.
Thanks, player.
There we go. You see, it's a Ringo Starr special. Dealey's going to go out on the streets and talk about Ringo Starr, and I don't know what he's going to do, but whatever he does, it's going to be
rhythmic.
Yeah, I'm going to have another Ringo Starr song. I don't care.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. You can choose. Kelly, you can choose. Young people dig Ringo. You can have either It Don't Come Easy or Weight of the World.
Let's have It Don't Come Easy.
Oh, baby, you've chosen well. Hang on a second. There we go. This is the BBC. This is what the BBC wants. Now that we're responsible for the over 75-year-olds. They're going to get over 75-year-olds. Oh, that's why we're doing it. He's 75 today. This is for all you licence fee dodgers. Morning, Ringo. Good morning, Ringo Starr. 75. years old today. Happy birthday, Ringo. And we're also playing that for all of the slackers, the 75-year-olds and over, that we've now got to pay for.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well done, guys.
Well done, guys. Jeez. On to slightly more serious issues. 10 years ago today, 4 men took a train from Luton Station with the intention of never returning. When they detonated their bombs at Aldgate, Edgware Road, Russell Square and Tavistock Square, they killed 52 people and injured more than 700 others. One of them was Phil Duckworth from St Albans. He was standing next to the bomber on one of the trains, and as emergency walkers passed him on the track, they said, "This one's gone," which gave him the energy to get up and save his life. Who'd have thought it? Well, he spoke to our reporter Justin Dealey.
It was my normal commute, so I got on the underground at Farringdon, and it was hot. It was a busy day. I was slightly late that day, so I wasn't in any particular hurry to get to work. I was just sort of going with the flow. I don't really remember much about the commute at all. I remember I sat down. I was reading my book, which is Dan Brown's Angels and Demons. When we just after Liverpool Street, I get up and get to the door, and I was stood at the door, my hand on the sort of partition, and then there was a massive white flash ringing in my ears. Honestly, I just couldn't work out what was going on. I thought I'd fallen off the train and maybe got electrocuted or something like that. I could remember for a while and until I came round and I was actually on the tunnel floor in the dark. I was sort of laid on the rails, and it was at that point I realised, obviously something bad has happened. Maybe I did fall out of the train. I was sort of barely conscious, kept coming in, drifting in and out. And then I was trying to get my way to the station. I could see Aldgate Station in distance. All I wanted to do was get to the platform. And it was probably 20 minutes or so before I got enough energy together to try and stand up.
It's an absolute miracle you're still here today, because you, of course, were standing next to the bomber. When you were blown out of the train, all of your clothes were blown off as well. So you were literally there in your underpants on that track. How did it feel when that person said, "This one's gone"? As a human being, somebody who's going through something like that, how did that make you feel?
Purely survival instinct, but this was like this gave me something like an adrenaline buzz or whatever, and I was like, I'm going to prove that guy wrong. This is how bad it is. They think I've died, so I've got to get up and do something. So. And
just how different do you live your life today? You've got 2 lovely kids. I've just seen your kids next door. You seem incredibly happy. Just how different are you as a person now, 6 years on?
I mean, I think it is a case of, it just made me sort of stronger in many respects. Just sort of viewing life, the positive side of it, spending time with the kids, the family, and being able to just still have a good lifestyle, live in London, go and travel and go to work in London, and not be afraid.
And in a bizarre way, have you made friends from that day? Because if you've been through something together like that, only a small group of people have actually experienced that. So do you still keep in contact with people from that day?
Yes, I'm sort of part of a sort of quite close group of people that were either from my train or some of the others, and we actually meet up every year and have a meal and celebrate all the things we've achieved since 7/7.
We'll be talking more about that throughout the show. 03459 455 555. You can text as well, 81333. Start your text 3CR. OK, here's what we're going to do. 2 things while we're down the rabbit hole this morning. First thing is, if you want to phone up, I'm pretty sure Ringo's listening this morning. I tweeted him a link. I also tweeted him a swear word. That'll get his attention. So if Ringo's probably listening, so if you want to phone up and leave a message for Ringo Starr, who's probably in bed in Los Angeles with the beautiful Barbara Bach, then 03459 455 555 is the phone number. Now, also, we shouldn't really joke about this. This is actually a very, very serious thing that the BBC has agreed it's going to take on the commitment of being responsible for a welfare, that the government should be responsible for, the welfare being free TV licences for the 75s and over. Whoever voted for that government, well done. So the BBC said, yeah, we're going to take on a welfare. They'll be doing food parcels soon as well. And that's fair enough. We don't mind taking on a welfare. But I just feel the over 75s got to give us something. They've got to show us something. It's got to be a two-way street here, guys. So this morning I want to know We're giving TV licences for free to people over 75. What can they give us in return?
Yeah.
03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, looking OK on the roads across the three counties this morning. No reported problems. If you are heading up the M1, unfortunately the M1 is closed in Northamptonshire. The northbound M1 shut between 16 and 18. There was a serious accident late last night around 10:30 and recovery work and resurfacing work continues. There is a diversion in place. You're asked to follow the hollow black triangle symbol via the A45 west towards Weedon Beck, then the A5 north towards Hinckley, A428 and then back on the M1 at 18. Just be aware there's a queue already on the northbound M1 approaching that closure from junction 15A, so that's from Northampton services. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. 6:16, it's Tuesday, the 7th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they are considering moving out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch.
Sundays on BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's a one-on-one connection thing. It's about me, it's about you. That's what it's all about.
Edward Adu.
It's not going to be Top Gear. It's going to be 1,000 times better.
Every Sunday night from 8.
Eclectic black music. It's going to be funk, soul, hip-hop, reggae, even a bit of house as well. It's like a social club. It's the Edward Adu Social Club. We just hang out, peanuts, glass of water. That's what it's all about.
Edward Adu.
I wear weird trousers, I wear crazy glasses, and I love fried chicken.
Every Sunday night from 8 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Happy birthday, Ringo! 3 in a row, back-to-back beats.
Maybe your daddy never held you like he should. Maybe your mama just held on the best she could. Every soul has a secret. Give it away or keep it. But yesterday's gone, so tell me why. Breaking you down on your back like a boulder. Before it's too late, get rid of it, girl. Get it off of your shoulder. I know you've been used, but you gotta lose the weight of the world. Maybe I haven't always been there just for you. Maybe I try, but then I've got my own life too. Every heart has a hunger. I'm not getting any younger. I got all the crosses I can bear. Don't give me the weight of the world. It's breaking me down on my back like a boulder. Before it's too late, get rid of it, girl. Get it off of my shoulder. You know I've been used,
Ian, stop it. The man has had a lucky life as the ugly Beatle who couldn't drum or sing well. Well, that song's just proved you wrong on at least 2 of those 3 counts. And now the breakfast show could be upon him. No. Morning, Bob.
Morning.
Bob, what do you want to say to Ringo?
Oh, claim to fame.
Go on then. Well, his claim to fame was, of course, drumming with the Beatles.
Well, I've just come back from Frigiano.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and who did I meet out there?
I've got no idea. Was it Ringo? Because that's...
No, it was JVS.
Who?
And Wally Webb.
JVS and Wally Webb?
Yes.
Are out there together?
Yes.
Anyone else think that sounds a bit queer? Isn't that weird?
Don't say queer.
No, I don't. I mean it in the old-fashioned sense.
Oh, the old-fashioned sense.
Were they there together?
Yes, they were.
Suspicious.
This is a bit funny.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Would you, empty bottles, Grisho...
Say that again, but in English.
Grisho, bottles of wine.
Oh.
Empty.
Oh. Well, they've been drinking it, haven't they?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Well,
You make your own mind up.
I would be surprised if Jonathan had been pouring it away. How old are you, Bob?
Me?
Yeah.
76.
Ah! Right then! What are you going to give me? Come on, show Daddy some sugar. What you got for me?
What have I got for you?
Yeah.
Ask me a question.
What have you got for me? Question mark.
Hello?
Hello?
Ask me a question.
What have you got for me? What have you got for me? Question mark.
Syria.
I don't want it. No, the thing, this is weird, isn't it? No, what I'm asking, Bob, is because the BBC, you know you get free TV licence.
Oh, no, you don't. No,
yes.
I can pay my way.
All right, well, you don't need to because we, the BBC, we're going to swallow that up for you.
Yes, that's okay. I'll pay my way.
Okay.
Always do.
If you send your cheques to Iain Lee...
Yes.
care of BBC Three Counties Radio, Sexy Square, Dunstable, then that'll be awesome.
I can afford to pay my TV licence.
You keep showing off, Bob, don't you? Doesn't he keep showing off?
Doesn't he, though? What's he like?
Doesn't he, though?
David!
Hello there.
Say hello to Bob.
Hello, Bob. Hello. How are you doing, mate? I'm okay. Yeah. I've got another 10 years to get up with you. Can you? Sorry? I can afford to pay my licence. Yeah. You asked me if I could? Yes, of course. Always. Of course you can. Same as me. We do not need this free licence, do we? Well, no, because I'll tell you what, this is Conservatives doing what they always do. They're trying to help the pensioners. Yes. But they're trying to cut back the BBC so they can let other private companies and make more money for the rich people. Okay. Don't you think BBC should put adverts on? Ooh. Not if it becomes like ITV. Yes.
I tell you what, Bob. All right, listen. If you think the BBC should do adverts, it's an interesting idea. Why don't you do us an advert now, Bob, and we'll see what it sounds like. So, I've just finished playing. That was Ringo Starr and Weight of the World. Coming up, we're going to speak to Justin Dealey. Morning, Just.
Morning, boss.
But before we find out what
Morning, Justin.
But before we find out what he's been up to, we'll be back after these messages.
Silence.
Is that it?
Well, was that it?
Was that yours? I thought you were going to do an advert for us.
No, sorry. I thought you was going to do one.
Right, okay, hang on, let's do this properly. We need production values.
Do this properly. Come on, production. Where's the team?
It's coming. Right, don't worry. Well, yeah. Right. Justin, great report, Justin, and we'll speak to you later on in the show.
Yeah, thank you, boss.
Thank you. David, excellent call. Thanks very much indeed.
I thank you too.
We'll go back to more of the show after we hear...
You're echoing. You're echo.
What? Oh, flipping it. We'll be back after these short messages. Are you going to do the advert or what? Are you going to do the advert? Bob?
I don't know what to say on the advert.
Oh, all right. Do one for, what can he advertise, Just?
What about aftershave?
Oh.
No. I wouldn't do.
I know what. What about...
Be BBC.
No. What about rich pensioners who can afford their TV licence?
Well, I can.
Well, then advertise that. All right, so here we go. Right.
All pensioners can pay the licence.
Sorry?
All pensioners can pay the licence.
Pensioners can pay their licence. Is that
Well,
true?
Of course, they get loads of money.
Hey! And he's 76 years old, guys, so that's true. Oh, Justin, we got time to squeeze this in. I know, I'm in one of those moods today.
Boss, before you go, 15 seconds from Abel, who's looking very able on the streets. Ringo Starr is 75 years old today. What would you like to say to Ringo?
Happy birthday, mate. You're doing very well.
There you go, boss.
There
Live
we go.
reaction on the streets of Ringo.
Beautiful, the streets of Ringo. Right, now listen, motorbikes in Dunstable, Houghton Regis. We've seen them, or at least I've seen video footage shot by a colleague of the motorbikes in the car park round the back here.
Yeah.
You've seen that from Tony the Fish?
I have, and it's horrendous.
It all started last year when the local cricket team, the Houghton Chargers, came to us for help keeping them off their pitch long enough to bowl an innings. Well, local MP Andrew Salu got involved, and it looked like everything was sorted. Well, Justin, you confronted a teenager in Dunstable about his biking habits, and you've seen this problem firsthand, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've seen it in Dunstable, seen it in Houghton Regis as well. It kind of comes in waves. It'll suddenly disappear for a while, then it will come back again.
They're back smoking cheeky little magic cigarettes.
Well, possibly.
Oh.
I spoke to a 14-year-old who's got one of these off-road bikes, and very, very arrogant with his words. He spoke to me a few days ago. Here's what happened when I spoke to him. So big in this area?
Because there's nothing else to do.
Okay, why is it, and this is a question which keeps coming up, why is it for certain weeks it will go very, very quiet, and then all of a sudden everyone will be back out again on their bikes?
That's because the police take a bike and it takes a couple of weeks or something to get a new one. If you know what I mean.
So people like you are put off because the police come out, do a blitz, they crush some of the bikes, so you think it's not worth going out for those couple of weeks?
Let it cool down, yeah.
What's going to make you stop?
Don't think there is anything.
Nothing at all?
Nah, nothing.
So you're telling me right now that this problem here in Houghton Regis and Dunstable is never going to go away?
No, I don't think there is nothing that they could do. They'll get bigger bikes, but we'll do the exact same.
What's your message to the police then?
Catch me if you can.
I mean, as arrogant as that, that's your message to the police?
But yeah, that's the message.
Oh, you little so-and-so. Ooh, catch me if you can. Was it Dave Clark or something? Blimey.
Incredible, isn't it? But there you go. Kids of today, he said to me that he knows people as young as 8 years old who have got these bikes locally. And
what's a 14-year-old doing with an 8-year-old?
Well, I don't know, but he's saying that problem is never going to go away. If the police, they come along with bigger bikes, all they're going to do is get bigger bikes themselves. So
do you know what? You know what I call what he just said? Call that an act of war. I call that, Catherine, I call that an act of war. He's a 14-year-old has challenged me. I'm 42. He's challenged me to war.
Well, not you, the police.
Well, I'm generally on the side of the police, apart from some of this stuff. Let's not whitewash them like they do with a lot of their inquiries. But he's declared war on me.
Oh.
Yeah. And by me, I mean us.
Oh, I don't want to. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I know. And
you're involved.
You're all involved, guys. This is Team Lee. And do you know the only way to beat these kids is at their own game? If you can't beat them, and because of Europe we can't, we can join them. Bring in some motorbikes tomorrow, Catherine. We're going dirt boxing, you and me.
Wow. I don't think I've got the right equipment.
Trust me, you have. Daily.
Shot Kelly's mic quick.
Daily. Can you get some birthday reaction on the streets, please?
Yep.
And then maybe later on, the BBC is now going to be responsible for giving out free TV licences to the over 75s. We've very generously taken it off of the shoulders of the government. What are the over 75s going to give us in return?
Yeah.
Can you do that as well, boss?
Yeah, give me 20 minutes on Ringo and I'll come back to you.
Speak to you later. Ta-ta.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Roads across the three counties generally doing okay from what I can see on the sensors and cameras. Building up on the anti-clockwise M25 in patches between the M1 and the M4C at junction 16. If you are heading into Northamptonshire though, the northbound M1 is closed between 16 and 18 for a surfacing work after a serious accident last night. There's a queue from junction 15A. That's Northampton Services. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. You wouldn't get this show anywhere else. You wouldn't even get this show at the other place where I do another show. You wouldn't get that. Oh, we'd have had phone calls. It's 6:32. Let's get the news.
Across beds, cards and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
With the headlines, I'm Simon Oxley. A service at St Paul's Cathedral is one of a series of events taking place today to mark 10 years since the London bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago, and police are continuing to appeal for witnesses to yesterday morning's crash at Chalton in Bedfordshire, in which 1 person died and 2 others were seriously injured.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Andy Murray is through to the Wimbledon quarter-finals after beating Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets. Roger Federer also through, but number 1 seed Novak Djokovic resumes later today at 2 sets all against the South African Kevin Anderson. Djokovic recovered from 2 sets down before bad light ended play last night. Murray, meanwhile, relieved to see off his giant opponent.
Because of his height, obviously, people don't try to lob him loads, so he can sometimes get quite close to the net by using the lob and some successful ones that made him kind of back off the net a little bit. So then I was able to use some angles on the passing shots, and yeah, that worked well.
Watford's record signing, Etienne Capoue, says Hornets goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez told him to join the club. The two were teammates at Spurs, with French international Capoue yesterday sealing a move thought to be worth in the region of £5.5 million. But Hungarian international Daniel Toja has announced he's leaving Vicarage Road. And Luton play a friendly this evening on their pre-season training trip to Portugal. Rory McIlroy looks set to miss next week's Open Golf Championship after rupturing an ankle ligament playing football. He's already withdrawn from this week's Scottish Open. 2014 European Ryder Cup captain Paul McGinley says it would be a blow if the 4-time major winner does miss out.
It's a shame because St Andrews, of all the golf courses, with the power and length that he has, it really suited him, and it was all set up for a lovely head-to-head with him and Jordan, and then other guys involved as well too. It was going to be great for the game of golf, and now we've been deprived of that, but hopefully he recovers quickly.
British heavyweight Tyson Fury will fight Vladimir Klitschko for the Ukrainians' world heavyweight titles in Germany on October the 24th. And Britain's Chris Froome leads the Tour de France after finishing second on stage 3, which was marred by 2 bad crashes. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, the next full bulletin at 7.
Oh, I haven't got the thing.
This is Nick
Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Simon. Computer's working today, which is always good.
Hey, I'm looking at this whiteboard and it's out of date. We don't need any of this stuff anymore.
The whiteboard. We have a whiteboard when we're down the rabbit hole for you. We've got some new listeners for the first hour, suckers.
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be good.
It's because you sang yesterday. You're going to have to sing again.
Dance,
monkey boy, dance.
Now, so this morning we are discussing, it's Ringo Starr's birthday. Happy 75th birthday, Ringo. What's your message to him? He's bound to be listening. Also, the BBC have very generously decided that we're not going to let the government give free TV licences to the 75s and overs. We're going to do it. We're going to take that on board, as well as sacking 1,000 people. Happy now? But so when we're going to do that, and we're pleased to do that, but what are old people going to give us? 03459 455 555.
Can we play ring poker?
Ooh, poker ring. No, ring poker.
I mean, it'd be nicer if it was Ringo Bingo, but I think it's ring poker.
We can do ring poker. Just very quickly, one final thing as well. Bob suggested it and then bottled it. If you want to do adverts on the BBC, not for your rubbish T-shirt printing business, but if you want to do adverts on the BBC, this morning is we're going to try that. 03459 455 555. Yeah, sure, of course we can play ring poker.
Right, just do it.
Yeah, go on then. All right, I'll go first. Ring.
Okay. Phone ring. Kelly?
Sorry, what?
Oh.
I was on the phone.
No, you weren't.
David's back with an advert if you want it.
David?
Nope.
Yeah.
You going to do an advert?
If you want.
OK, we'll be back after these messages.
David, do your advert now.
There's no real adverts. There's no real adverts, David. You're the advert.
Support the BBC. The best in the world. You deserve them.
Well, I mean, that's really... Well, I mean, good is a word that I probably wouldn't have used in that context.
I'm not sure anyone deserves this.
No. Right, OK, so ring.
Yeah. So I did phone ring.
Wedding ring.
Ringo.
Oh. Party ring.
Are you out?
No, I'm thinking. Ring.
Well, how can you be...
I know there's loads.
Yeah, there's loads of rings. Steady, guys. How can you be...
Because I can only think of a rude one.
Well, of course you can.
I'm not having your rude ring.
Ring. Hello.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's acceptable.
I mean, it's derivative of my telephone ring, but yeah.
No, it's acceptable. What's your problem with that? Okay.
It's a tiny bit of beef, yeah.
Ringo.
You said
You already done that.
No, I did. The first one was Ringo Starr. Second one was Ringo the Crisps. No, Ringo's like a Ringo goes.
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah.
Curtain ring.
What did you say?
For God's sake.
Oh, my goodness.
Even that's wrong.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Sorry.
Tell you what you need is you need a little bit of this.
I do. Ring. The film.
Ring. Right, well, hang on a second. We're going to accept that.
What?
But
Whoa. What did you just say?
The film. There's a film called Ring.
The Ring, okay.
Yeah. Well, a sexy, slightly...
a ring in your hands.
Oh.
Sexy...
No, that's with a W.
A sexy older gentleman has come up to the table and has put down his bell. And he wants to play. Good morning, sir. What's your name? Make up a name. I'm talking to you, old man.
Which old man are you talking to?
This one.
This one about wringing your neck.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Okay.
All right.
I'll come and do it for you if you like.
No, thank you. Ring-a-ding-ding.
Okay.
Really?
The Ring of Truth.
Okay, yeah.
The Ring of Fire.
Boom.
Thanks, Kath.
Old man?
Yes?
You'll go.
I go. I don't know, no. Wring your hands in desperation.
Thanks for playing. Ring piece?
No.
Sorry? Huh?
Is she all right?
I think she's crying because I literally just lost her job then.
Mm.
Yours is all right.
Yeah.
Mine's looking iffy now.
Yeah, it always was.
If I'm honest, things... Shall I play...
I expected it from her, but you?
Shall I play a nice song?
Wait,
Quick.
I'm not really good.
No.
No, well,
we're done.
Let's just regroup.
I had to leave you and go away, but I think about you every day, in the morning and in the afternoon. I wish that I could see you soon, and when I held you I felt so fine. It was like there was nothing left on my mind. It was like Rockaway Beach in the month of June. I wish that I could see you soon. I had no plans to meet you, baby. I had a million things to do, baby, but you hit my heart with a harpoon. I wish that I could see you soon. The angels go,
how long till you can see her?
And I'm like, the sooner the better.
Do you really think she will wait for you?
Well, I have nowhere to say, and there's nothing I can do. Well, I have nowhere to say, and there's nothing I can do. Go. Now that I am across the sea, I wonder if you're gonna wait for me, or if you're gonna find a new boy to spoon. I wish that I could see you soon, and if you wait a little, my pretty friend, until I come back to hold your hand, we'll be like birds when they break through a cocoon. You know, I wish that I could see you soon. It's been a while since I felt like this, and now I found someone I really miss. Under the sun, under the moon, I wish that I could see you soon, angels.
How long till you can see her?
And I'm like, the sooner the better.
Do you really think she will wait for you?
And I'm like, there's no way to say, and there's nothing I can do. Well, there is no way to say, and there's nothing I can do. Go. And I'm like, well, the sooner the better.
Do you really think she will wait for you?
And I'm like, there's no way to say, and there's nothing I can do. Well, there is no way to say, and there's nothing I can do. Well, there is no way to say, and there's nothing I can do. No way to say, and there is nothing I can do.
No, as Scott says on Twitter, ring peace is when you turn your phone off after a busy day. Peace from your ring. Which I have not got at the moment, as I told you this morning.
Stop it.
First thing I said.
You're making it worse.
Well, I'm not. I'm trying. That's why I've got my Savlon.
Yeah, but then you.
First thing I
Just
said.
leave it alone, I said to you.
First thing I said to Kath this morning, we got out of our cars at the same time. Went, oh, Kath, been bumped enough.
Like it's my problem. I mean, I know I'm your producer, but my duties end somewhere.
Produce this.
That end.
Now, okay, so it's your turn.
You swine.
It's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one ring to rule them all.
I mean, I'm
yeah,
gonna...
yeah, Frodo's ring.
Just because her answers bore me and I want to hear what Kelly's got.
No.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bring it.
Oh, that's like
no,
clock.
that's clock.
No, it isn't.
That's like clock. You just put a word in. Out.
No.
Out.
But that's the beauty of
You're
it.
done.
It's ring poker.
Yeah.
Ring is in the word bring.
We're not playing bring poker.
Otherwise, you're just naming types of ring.
Yep.
That's the game. Bob. Bob,
Yeah?
two questions. First one, what are you doing back on? And secondly, we can't allow bring in ring poker, can we?
No.
You had Sainsbury's in berry
I'd like
poker.
you to play some music.
Some what?
Play some music.
Some what? Cows?
No, not cows.
You said music. Music. Yeah, oh, music.
Yes.
What? We just have been. What do you want?
Isa.
We don't play. Isa?
Isa, doo-dah, doo-dah.
How does it go?
How's it go?
Sing that.
Isa,
Hang on a
Isa.
minute. Sing that again.
Isa.
That's not a song.
That's
It
just a
really
way of
is.
saving money, and it's not that effective anymore.
I'm a DJ.
Obviously.
The oldest DJ in Milton Keynes.
Well, yeah, that's great. Where are you working these days?
Pardon?
Where are you working these days?
Well, I work all over the country. I work in Doncaster.
Oh, right. Well, but
I work in
Isa.
Sheffield.
In Wherefield?
Sheffield.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, I don't know what that song is.
Isa, come on.
Do you mean come
You
on?
know it.
Do you mean come on, Eileen?
No. Isa.
Do you mean Gary Glitter? Come on.
Yes.
You mean that?
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to play that, am I?
Well, no, you're not.
Then why are you asking me to play it?
Are you scared, my son? Are you frightened to play that?
No, I'll just get told off for playing Gary Glitter.
Oh, you get the sack.
No, I won't get the sack. I'll get told off, rightfully so. Thanks for calling twice.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The anti-clockwise M25 building up now from 21 down to 16. It's already very heavy in patches between the M1 and the M40. If you're heading up the M1 into Northamptonshire, the northbound M1 is closed this morning between 16 and 18. That's Northampton West all the way up to Rugby for the resurfacing work after the serious accident late last night. The queue starts at junction 15A. It's very slow on the diversion route via the A45 and the A5 just north of Wiedenbeck. And onto trains across the three counties. Well, no reported problems currently. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. If you want to take part in Ring Poker, play an advert or tell us what the over 75-year-olds can give us, 03 459 455 555. If your name's David or Bob, probably best you have a little lie down or something. Wait till nurse comes. Now, 6:47, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch. Here's the weather with Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a rather cloudy morning today. We have some outbreaks of rain on the way as well. Some of those could be potentially quite heavy. 1 or 2 of those already fallen across some of us, but we should get some more actually. But between them, we're going to get some nice sunny spells as well. Now, you may hear a rumble or 2 of thunder this morning. This afternoon, it's going to be brighter, drier. We should get some sunny spells to end the day. Now, the sun sets later on at around 21. The maximum temperature today is 22 Celsius. Now, we're still breezy today and are hanging on to that breeze overnight. Some outbreaks of rain overnight with more cloud and the minimum down to 12 Celsius. Sunrise is at 04:52. When it does, it's going to remain breezy, I'm afraid. Some outbreaks of showery rain tomorrow. It's going to feel cooler at maximum 20 Celsius. But the good news is things start to improve through Thursday and Friday. We should get some sunny spells and the temperature gradually rising. By Friday, we could reach 24, maybe 25 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
So I know what you're thinking, Catherine.
You don't.
I do.
I'm thinking, what am I going to do now? I've got no job.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but if the Beatles had been Japanese and had been recording in the late 80s, early 90s, what would they have sounded like?
Gosh, that's almost exactly what I was thinking.
Well, I've got the answer. They would have sounded like this.
恋はバラくじけそうなシチュエーション Sometimes 諦めかけてしまうのさきっと出会ったことはクリボリューション退屈な日をそう変えたのさ抱きしめたいのさ In my arms いつでも Temptation Girl 手の届かないビーナス Oh no Oh no Oh no とてもグッカザングッボンにゃわからないさ道化師のようなこんな気持ちは僕は他の前にひざまずくそうじゃまるで出口がつかめないのさ彼女は Temptation Girl 手に入れたいのさ In my heartいつでも Temptation Girl 思い通りにいかない Oh no Oh no Oh no もしも君が信じるなら自由などなんだ けどいつかものにしてみせる彼女はテンプテーションガール抱きしめたいのさ in my arms いつでもテンプテーションガール Many many times I hold you in my dream Oh no Oh no Oh no Oh no Oh no
Here comes the end, big finish.
Oh no
That's for Ringo Starr, 75 years old today, when he was Japanese.
I love that.
It's good, isn't it?
I love that.
That's Box and Temptation Girl. Box are flipping awesome. They released 2 albums. Nobody bought them except for me.
I think I might have to buy one.
I'll do you copies. Box are lovely. This is like 20 years ago, and they get together every year and do a concert at the Budokan. And they keep inviting me every year. They send me a birthday card and they say, "Come and see our show." And I was like, "Yeah, you pay for it, and I'll come, fellas."
They're amazing.
They're good,
Although
aren't they?
it's a complete rip-off. I mean, it's like they
Oh.
stripped down the Beatles' car
Yeah.
and used the spare parts to
they
build a
love it.
similar car.
They've got a spin-off group called Piccadilly Circus where they sound like Paul McCartney and Wings. And
Wow.
I've got one of them, I haven't got it on here, one of them doing an amazing version of, maybe it's No More Lonely Nights, I think, where he sounds like McCartney.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
The voice is amazing.
Ring Around the Roses.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Ring a Roses, that's it. Ring a Roses, that's it.
I need some thinking time.
Okie dokie.
Can you get to Dorothy? She's got to go to work.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Dorothy there. Thank you. Oh, there's people want to play. Hang on a second. Let's go. Dorothy?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Have you got a ring that we can use?
Yes, I have. It's the 3 rings.
You got what?
It's called the 3 rings.
What's the 3 rings?
It's engagement ring, wedding ring, and then suffering.
Dorothy did a funny, Dorothy did a funny, la 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 la, la 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 la. Thank you, Dorothy. Let's go to Peter in Walmer Green. Morning, Peter.
Morning.
What would you like to have a whinge about today? Is it rings?
No.
This is what we
not
say,
at all.
Peter, when a new player sits at the table.
No,
Hang
I
on,
don't want-
Peter. When a new player sits at the table,
Okay.
show us your ring.
Show us your ring, player.
Olympic 5 rings.
Sorry?
The Olympic 5 rings.
Well, Olympic rings would do.
Yeah.
Olympic rings? Have you got an Olympic ring?
No, there's 5 of them, isn't there?
Okay.
Well, I mean, yes.
And now listen, Peter, you're an old man. We're paying your TV licence.
Right,
You're welcome.
Over 75.
You're welcome, by the way.
And I really want to support the BBC because I want totally honest and straightforward news without fear or favour and without political interference. And I think we've got that in the BBC. Otherwise, we'll become a dictatorship.
Can I let you do a secret, Peter? And this is strictly
Yeah.
between you and I.
Yeah.
Simon Oxley is constantly accepting brown envelopes from various dodgy-looking gentlemen and women. So I've got no idea.
That must be outside the toilet.
Yeah. It must be, Pete. Peter, what are you going to give us in return?
What am I going to give you in return?
Correct.
Loyalty.
No, I want something tangible.
Tangible?
Or a tangerine.
Well,
Any citrus fruit will
let's
do.
put it this way.
Yeah?
A lot of my knowledge has been learnt from the BBC.
Well, we'll have it back.
We do get it back.
We'll have it back then, Pete.
Well, yes, sometimes I think you need it.
Oh, so that's what it gave you a stinger.
Peter, speak to you later on. Ta-ta.
I've got one.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah?
What would you like to say to Ringo?
To Ringo?
To Ringo.
Well, he was a member of a tremendous group, so therefore he's entitled to our thanks because there was a lot of great music came out then.
Thank you very much indeed.
Fairy ring.
That's not what
Yes,
is
it
this?
is. A fairy ring is a ring of toadstools into which you must not tread.
I'm playing my Joker card. I'm inviting Kelly back into the game. Joker
Thanks,
play.
player.
What's your ring?
Bell
Right.
ringing.
So?
Bell ringing.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Prawn ring.
Oh. They're only £1 at Christmas time.
Yep.
Ring donut.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ask Tony Blackburn if he's got a ring we could
Tony,
use.
do you have a ring that we could use?
Do I what?
Do you have a ring that we could use?
A ring?
Yeah.
What, my wedding ring?
Can we use this wedding ring?
We've had wedding ring.
We've had wedding ring.
We haven't had
take my
Tony.
wedding ring off.
We haven't had Tony Blackburn's wedding ring.
We're playing ring poker, so you've got to come up with. We've had prawn ring, ring,
Ring donut.
ring around the ring of roses.
Ring. ABBA.
Ring, ring. Why don't you give me
Hang on a
call?
second, as if by magic.
Oh.
We're not playing it though.
Oh, but there you have it.
No, we're not playing it, but we have ABBA. Thank you, Tony.
Pleasure.
Ah dear. Anything else? Oh, is it my go?
Yeah.
Okay. We've done that.
Done that one.
Look, he's getting invited. He's starting to think now. Okay.
Ringo, the thing you pay your car park thing.
Barap, I'm having Ringo, the thing you pay your car with.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Go on. Catherine's thinking. Never a good sign. She's not looking good for Catherine. Catherine's ring is not looking good. 3, 2, 1.
Ring the alarm.
Oh, for crying out loud, yeah. Betsy?
Toe ring.
Oh, kinky.
Oh, how 90s.
Look at Tony. Tony's not.
Oh, just made me think of one.
Ring the wrong number.
Can you accept that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me think, because I just had one.
Ring me.
Not now, Tony, I'm doing a show.
It's very persistent, isn't he? It's very persistent.
Circus ring.
Okay. Earring.
Bets.
Nose ring.
Well, now we're just saying different types of ring.
That's what we've been doing the whole time.
Oh, yeah, this game doesn't quite work.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, usual delays on the anti-clockwise M25, slow in patches from the M1 down to the M40, junctions 21 to 16. The M1 in Northamptonshire closed this morning, northbound between 16 and 18. That's Northampton West all the way up to Rugby after a serious accident late last night. Resurfacing works underway, likely to continue until midday now, that closure of the M1 in Northamptonshire. There's already a queue from 15A just by Northampton Services. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. Thank you, special guest star Tony Blackburn. Shh. We're climbing out of the rabbit hole now. We'll still take your Ringo Starr birthday wishes. And the over 75s. You got a free TV licence. What do we get?
Vocal and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: 10 years since the 7/7 London bombings. 2 men found guilty after death of Buckinghamshire bodybuilder. And Bedfordshire Cricket Club say they've had enough of nuisance bikes.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A service at St Paul's Cathedral is one of a series of events taking place today to mark 10 years since the London bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. More than 700 people were injured. Paralympian Martine Wright from Tring lost her legs in the attacks, having been sat close to one of the bombers on the Circle line.
After I woke up, after 10 days of being in a coma, I didn't really think of him. I wasn't angry. For me, I couldn't understand how someone could do such an awful thing. I still don't understand it.
Two Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of conspiracy to produce and supply Class C steroids following the death of bodybuilder Sean Clitheroe in 2012. Mr Clitheroe died after taking the drug DNP at the Apollo Gym in High Wycombe. It's an industrial chemical not suitable for human consumption. Peter Perkins from Hazelmere and Jason King from Great Missenden will be sentenced later this month. Police are continuing to appeal for witnesses to yesterday morning's crash in Bedfordshire in which one person died and two others were seriously injured. The crash involving a van and a lorry happened at Chorlton just after 7 o'clock. Shops could be open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. George Osborne will give elected mayors and councils the power to relax the laws locally. More from Ben Gagan.
I don't think it's going to be without opposition. This is one of those issues that's come up again and again over the last 20 or so years since the Sunday trading laws came into effect. And there are some big supermarkets and stores that are actually against it. They're worried about the effect it'll have on their workers. Equally, there are those such as Asda and Morrison's who say, actually, we've got to bring ourselves up to date.
A report published today is expected to show that a lack of competition between the big six energy firms cost consumers more than £1 billion a year between 2009 and 2013. It's believed the Competition and Markets Authority will say households paid about £50 a year too much. A cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch. The Houghton Chargers play at the village green but have had persistent problems with young people riding across the pitch and outfield. But this teenager says the problem won't go away.
That's because the police take a bike and it takes a couple of weeks or something to get a new one. If you know what I mean. But there is nothing that they could do. They'll get bigger bikes, but we'll do the exact same.
What's your message to the police then?
Catch me if you can.
In sport, Andy Murray is through to the Wimbledon quarter-finals after beating Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets, but number 1 seed Novak Djokovic resumes later today at 2 sets all against the South African Kevin Anderson. The weather: outbreaks of heavy rain this morning but becoming drier and brighter this afternoon, a maximum temperature 22 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Good work. Thank you, Simon. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio of all places. Oh, man alive. Busy show this morning. It's Ringo's 75th birthday, which, well, it's almost like his mum and dad planned it that way. What's your birthday message for Ringo, please? Oh, man alive, if you've ever met Ringo, I have! The only Beatle I've met. And at the time, he was the best living member of the Beatles. If you've ever met Ringo, your Ringo stories, please. We can expand it as well, your drumming stories. 03459 455 555. And come on, guys. We're giving free TV licences away to the over 75s. Well, what are the over 75s going to give to the BBC? That's the question. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. You can text as well, 81333. Start your text 3CR. Or you can stand outside the window here in Dunstable and hold up a sheet of paper. It's all groovy, man.
Suck my kids.
Yes.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. Or you can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Now, it's 10 years to the day since 52 people died and hundreds were injured during the 7/7 London attacks. The city had been chosen to host the 2012 Olympics the day before, and people were going about their lives, travelling to work as usual, when 4 bombers targeted Aldgate, Edgware Road, Russell Square and Tavistock Square. Well, Philip Nelson is the chair and founder of the 7/7 Memorial Trust and joins me now. Morning, Philip.
Hello, Ian. Good morning to you.
Philip, what are your memories of 7/7 10 years ago?
My London flat is just around the corner from Tavistock Square and Tavistock Place. Unfortunately, I'd left the area way before the bombing started, and especially before the bus exploded in Tavistock Square. But the first that I knew about it, I came out of a meeting at 10 o'clock, and a friend of mine who worked at Scotland Yard called my mobile phone and said, "Philip, are you all right?" And I said, "I'm perfectly fine." And he said, "You clearly haven't heard what's happened, have you?" And so he brought me up to speed. And when I came back that evening, there was hardly any traffic on the road. There were obviously hundreds, if not thousands, of people walking home from work. The area which I live in was a crime scene for 2 or 3 weeks after the event, and it was just quite eerie. And one of the defining images of that time is that people had left attached photos of their loved ones onto various lampposts in the locality. At that stage, they were still missing. They hadn't been identified as dead. So it was quite a surreal moment, I think, in the city's history.
It was very. I remember hearing it. I was listening to LBC at the time, and Nick Ferrari, who was doing the breakfast show, mentioned that there'd been a power surge. Everyone thought it was a power surge, didn't they, on the underground to start with, and that there had been an explosion, but it was nothing to worry about. And then, kind of quite quickly, the actual news of the horrific news of what had happened came through, and it was a very unsettling day, wasn't it?
I mean, nothing like this had ever happened before, and I think that the response of the emergency services on that day was exemplary. Going into something which was very unknown, they didn't know whether there were any secondary devices, as they often were when the IRA had their bombing campaign in London, and so it was very much uncharted territory, and I think it's testament to the work of our security services and police services that a number of events on the scale of 7/7 have been prevented over the years.
The 7/7 Memorial Trust. Tell me about that. What exactly is it for, and what have you managed to achieve in the last 10 years?
Well, I mean, it was the brainchild of somebody who lives in Bedfordshire, and I think who'll be known to your viewers quite well. That was the Dowager Duchess of Bedford at Woburn Abbey. After the London bombings, I was invited by Camden Council to head a fundraising campaign to raise enough money to restore Tavistock Square Gardens. And when we had that opening ceremony in 2011, she was the obvious person to open it as the former Marchioness of Tavistock, whose family still own 20 or 30 acres here in King's Cross and Bloomsbury. And she backed calls for a memorial in the site most closely recognised with the events of that day. But also what we also put on, which is a bit below the radar, is we have an annual lecture which reaches out to the whole of the 7/7 community, the families, the survivors, members of the emergency services, Good Samaritans who came to the support of people at all 4 sites on those days, and also formed the first of 2 official commemorations. That lecture this year took place last Monday. Obviously, people will be well aware of the second official commemoration, which was the big service at St Paul's Cathedral today.
And so there is the service going on today. Will you be at the service?
Yes, I will. I'll shortly be going off to. I feel quite privileged and honoured. I've been asked to read the names of the 26 who died at a multi-faith service at Russell Square this morning. I'll then be doing the same at Tavistock Square. And then I'll be going with the families and other organisations who played their part in that day. So in the car that I'm travelling to St Paul's, there'll be some of the doctors and staff from the British Medical Association. That was the site where the bus exploded outside and came to the support of passengers on the number 30 bus. And then we'll be going to St Paul's for a service which starts at around 10:30 and will finish about 12:30 this afternoon.
Philip, it's just one of those days where I think it all gives us the pause to sit and think and remember where we were and count our blessings and, a little salute to those that didn't make it as well. Well done for doing all your good work, Philip, and I hope today goes as smoothly as it can for you and for everyone involved.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Philip. Philip Nelson, Chair and founder of the 7-7 Memorial Trust. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. I think I've said before. I got called to go on. I was at my I was in London. Then I went to my mum's in Slough. Farnham Common, actually, she's dead posh. And I got a call from my friend who's a producer of a television show, and he said, look, because of this, we've had Richard Madeley and Jonathan Ross have pulled out of recording 8 out of 10 Cats. Would you come and do it? I was like, yeah, I'll come and do it. It was the weirdest thing. Primarily because Sean Locke was a plum and humiliated me, but also even more so because we were filming a comedy show, but no audience was allowed into the building because the BBC was obviously perceived as a target. So we filmed this comedy show in front of the crew. There were 15 people there, and we were all trying to do gags and stuff on that day. It was very, very weird. Very weird environment. Have we got any texters?
Yeah, we have. Peter in Walmer Green's thought of the contribution he makes as a 75-plusser, who's now obviously sponging.
Yeah.
He says 50 years of plus of paying the licence to keep you going. Have that, says Peter.
Oh, I say. Just 1 second. You know what we've declared? We've had war declared upon us.
Yeah, by the nuisance bikers.
Well, Scott points out, rightly so, that kid is being carried on the shoulders of all his friends across beds, hards and bugs this morning. He is a legend forever. Which kid? This kid. Oh, hang on a minute. My computer's not working.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah, that guy is now. He is a player.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah.
He's their Robin Hood.
Isn't he, though? Isn't he? Oh, you little terror. Oh, I'll slap his legs. I won't, officer. Will.
Ringo Starr's son, says Julia in Luton, went to my school in Slough. So I used to see Ringo very much, and I knew him as Rin.
Why do you know him as Rin and not Ring?
I don't know.
You can't shorten Ringo to Rin. That's Rin Tin Tin. No, they must mean Ring. Licensed Victualers was the school, posh. Got knocked down, I think. I think they built a Tesco there.
Is that what LVS stands for?
Yeah, Licensed Victualers School, yeah. They, I think they built a Tesco, if it's where I think it was. 'Twas, near the train station, I think it was. I don't know.
I saw Ringo Starr at the Chelsea Flower Show, and he winked at me. And he was with Barbara. Oh. And she is the most amazing-looking woman I've ever seen in my life. She is like a marble sculpture.
Can I just say that this admiration for Ringo, from me, no tongue in cheek. It's 100%. I just worried the listeners might think, he's doing a thing and he's taking the peak. Not at all. 100% Ringo Starr. My favourite Beatles in order.
George.
In reverse order.
Oh.
John at 4. At 4?
Really? I like John.
Paul at 3.
Oh.
Ringo at 2. George at 1. That's the Beatles, guys.
Controversial.
I like, right, here's my reverse, right? Paul.
At 4?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Do without Paul.
Oh, no, you couldn't do without Paul.
Yeah, I could.
You couldn't.
It's plum. Paul.
Oh.
Ringo. Sorry, Ringo. Happy birthday.
Ringo at 3?
Mm-mm. John.
Overrated. John Lennon. Oh, boy. Oh, we are saying. It's put some clothes on you, hippie, and get out of that sack. And by sack, I mean literal sack or bed if he's in Amsterdam.
I like his surly attitude. I can identify. And 1, George.
George.
Adorable.
Curious George. No, it's a cartoon bear, isn't it? Or a monkey.
It's a monkey.
Right, 03459 455 555 is the telephone number.
Catch me if you can.
Oh, and boy, we'll catch you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, usual delays on the M1 now. South of Luton towards Junction 9, Redbourne is looking slow on the southbound side. Just be aware that the northbound M1 in Northamptonshire is closed this morning between Junction 16 and 18. Northampton West all the way up to Rugby after an accident late last night. They're having to resurface the M1 in Northamptonshire, and it's going to be closed until around noon, we're now being told. There's a queue from 15A, that's the Toaster and Northampton Services turn. Long delays also on the diversion route. M25 anti-clockwise is slow 24 to 23 towards South Mims. Usual congestion then from the M1 on and off all the way down to the M40 at Junction 16. Looking busy also on the A41 southbound at Kings Langley towards the M25, and very heavy into London on the A1 between the Holiday Inn and Stirling Corner. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Suck my kiss.
Catch me if you can.
7:15, it is a Tuesday, the 7th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch.
The BBC Trust is the governing body of the BBC. Right now, it would like your thoughts on BBC Local Radio and local news on TV.
Saki and Lee.
It's all part of a review to make sure you're getting the very best service and value for money from the BBC here in Beds, Herts and Bucks.
Share your views by filling out the questionnaire at bbc.co.uk/trust.
Or to receive a copy in the post, call free on 08000 680 116.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, there must be something wrong with the internet, because I've been tweeting and tweeting Ringo Starr for the last hour and a half. He no reply. He no phone up radio show, which can only mean the computers are broken here. Hey, is it raining? Look at that, and it's gone dark. It's gone dark, and I think it's raining. I'm wearing a T-shirt for the first time in 20 years. I'm glad I brought my coat, though. I did think I'm going to need a coat, and I don't know where it is. It's a coat somewhere. If you see a coat somewhere, odds are it's mine. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Here's something interesting. We'll do that. We'll do that in a second. Hang on, we'll go to that in a second. Let's do this first of all. We talked about this problem from time. I'll talk about the NME in a second. It's going free because no one's buying it. You know why? Because it's rubbish. Because it hasn't got Mr. Angry in it. It's a problem that simply won't go away. Off-road motorbikes in Dunstable and Houghton Regis. It all started last year when local cricket team, the Houghton Chargers, came to us for help keeping them off their pitch long enough to bowl an innings. Well, after getting local MP Andrew Selous involved, it looked like everything was sorted. But now the bikers are back. And, they're saying this.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah, that's actually one of them. Andrew Selous, local MP, joins me now. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
This is one of those little so-and-sos.
Catch me if you can.
They're
sticking 2 fingers up at everybody.
Well, what I want to see is more bikes impounded and crushed, and these people brought to justice. I'm going to be meeting Gavin Hughes-Rowlands, our local chief inspector, again at the end of the week. I will raise this with him again. He did come on your programme not so long ago after they'd done a very good Operation Meteor exercise when they'd, I think, captured a number of bikes. And I want to see that happening again and regularly until we get on top of the problem.
The cricketers, I mean, this is how it kind of started for us. It had been, they thought it had been sorted, that they could just play a game of cricket. They're a really good, I'm not a fan of cricket, but I've seen the stats. They're a really good local cricket team. They're all keen enthusiasts. And it's going on again. What happened to the CCTV and the extra security? Did that ever get put in place?
Well, there was extra police presence last year, which did sort the problem out. I've had one contact from the cricket team so far this year, and I immediately raised it with the police. I haven't heard back from them recently, so I wasn't aware there was still an ongoing problem. But if any of them are listening and it's bad, if they'd like to get back in touch with me, as I said, I'm seeing Bedfordshire Police again this Friday. So I'll tell them what's happening and try to make sure that future games don't have problems.
Yeah, we'll speak to Aziz, who's one of the cricketers that we spoke to. There's this weird kind of, I don't know if it's a law or if it's just a self-imposed rule by the police, that they can't, if they see someone riding an off-road bike and that person isn't wearing a helmet, they're not allowed to chase them, which to me seems crazy.
Well, I'll certainly look into that. I just wonder what's the real basis of that, if it's a health and safety concern or if it's actually a law or if it's just sort of guidance as far as the police are concerned. But I'll certainly raise that with the police because they're being a danger to themselves, let alone anyone else, if they're going around without a helmet. So I think you can make a good argument that it would be absolutely the right thing to do to try and stop them there and then.
Andrew, say that, Kath, what is it you've got there?
Well, I've got the match report. Ampthill Town Cricket Club played the Houghton Chargers this weekend, and we've got the report here, and it's mentioned in the report what happened with the bikes. It says, by now we'd stopped noticing the motorbikes as the smell of weed floated up from another group of youngsters at Fine Leg, allowing Casley and Blunty to fire their rhythm at the away team sniffed a chance. Knock 'em down, shouted Smith as they attempted run out. OK, so we all giggled as the chemicals began to take effect. I mean, they were all over the pitch all the way through that match, and it was a pain. Hang on a second. It says here, 40cc motorbikes entering the arena to delight us with their wheelies in the outfield, impressing us all greatly. I mean, it sounds like they were a proper pain.
Well, that's absolutely appalling, isn't it? Absolutely unacceptable. I'm really, really angry and cross to hear that, and I will find out the dates of their next home games and try to make sure that the police make sure that doesn't happen again. Being able to carry on playing cricket is absolutely, in Houghton Regis or anywhere else for that matter, is absolutely non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to let any group of young hooligans stop that happening.
Andrew, I always appreciate your time on this, and it's always good to talk, because I know you do take this very, very seriously, and you're not just paying us lip service. So thanks very much for your time, and let's just keep our fingers crossed again.
Yeah, and perhaps you could ask Aziz to let me know the dates of the next home matches, and then I can make sure, we'll ask the police to make sure they have a greater presence.
All right, Andrew, we shall do that. Thank you very much indeed. Andrew Salu, and it's... he's a good MP to have on board for something like this, because he'll come on, he'll talk to us, and he takes it very, very seriously. All that stuff he said he'll do, he'll go and do. Sometimes you get people coming on, councillors or MPs, going, well, yeah, I'll look into this and I'm going to fire off a strong email. Andrew says he's going to go and talk to people. He'll go and talk to people. Thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Iain, you're an idiot.
So my boys like playing with. They say, "Daddy, can we play with the Echo?" And what I do is I add a little delay, and then you get stuff like this.
Clip that. Clip that. Clip that.
This was their favourite, number 7.
Where's me Woody? Where's me Woody? Where's me Woody?
Which is, and the boys are in hysterics when we play that. But now their new favourite is this one. Okay, button T on my computer. And it's quite disturbing and unpleasant. We had 20 minutes of this.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
20 minutes of that. Isn't that macabre?
If that's a happy day, I'd hate to hear a miserable one.
It's just...
Oh, happy day.
It really is. My boys are weirdos. Speaking of weirdos, I'm only joking. It's Pat in Houghton Regis. Morning, Pat.
Morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
Well, I heard Andrew. He is a fine MP, but when I heard his last comment, we need a greater presence when they're playing cricket for the police to turn up. No, we need a greater presence each and every night, and every early evening. Last night, I had 3 surrounding me as they passed my vehicle in front of all the CCTV cameras on the high street. I had 1 shoot across me. I had 2 later on in the evening, firing past me, probably about 60, 70 miles an hour. And these were off-road motorcycles. Then I spotted 3, 2 motor scooters and a motorbike that looked legal. Everyone with helmets on, the learner plates on, 1 without a learner plate, going onto the footpath to make a shortcut home over on Parkside. So it's not only illegal motorcyclists, it's the actual legal ones as well doing the same similar things. What's going on with these bikers?
Well, yeah, I don't know. We saw them in Dunstable the other day in the car park here, at the back here, and I know our reporter Tony Fisher filmed it, right? Yeah. It's a very funny film, because he filmed them going up, ragging around on their motorbikes, going up and down, and you can almost feel the kids saying...
Catch me if you can.
But he obviously didn't want to get a kicking, rightfully so, as he's an old man, Tony. So whenever the motorbikes got too close, he pretended he was filming a kids' football match.
Which is okay.
Which apparently is okay. So it's a funny... I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny because when the motorbikes are in the distance, he's filming them. And then when they get closer, he starts filming. He turns the camera away.
Surely that would be weirder, wouldn't it?
That would be weird. Pat, I don't know, mate. I just don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Well, no, it isn't. The councillors and council officers have fine CCTV footage available to them. If people like me rung into the council and said, look, we saw him at this time, look at your cameras, provide the evidence to the police.
Did you ring in?
I'm ringing in this morning, the council.
Beautiful.
There's no point ringing the police because you ring the police and the answer you get is, what do you want us to do about it?
Here's
Where
the
are
thing,
they
though.
now?
Here's the thing, right? My suggestion would be ring the police and ring the council, because if the police don't get the phone calls, they say it's not being reported. So they think that the problem has been solved. Whereas if they keep getting the phone calls, and even if they do kind of mug you off a bit, if they keep getting the phone calls, if everybody phones them, then their official record, and you say, I want to report this, their official records will say, well, we had 20 reports last Thursday, and then we had 60 reports on Saturday. They will have to say that. If no one phones it and reports it, well, don't get reported.
And
don't
here's
get
the thing,
logged.
Pat, and I'm sure you're already doing this. Note down the times and dates that you're reporting them.
I've got them. I've had them on camera before now. The police said, we're coming out and look at it, and they don't bother.
Have you got a written record of your phone calls?
Written record, I think,
No, but that's what I mean. So you can say to them, well, I know for sure I phoned you on this date at this time if you want to check it back. I think that you just need to have as much information in your armoury as possible.
Pat, listen, thank you very much. Jamie's in Luton. Morning, Jamie.
Morning, mate.
So you see a little so-and-so riding past on his motorbike. He flips you the V's, he shouts...
Catch me if you can.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, me as a general person of the public, there's nothing I can do because I'll be prosecuted and he wouldn't, would he?
No, right, OK.
But they are filling up in the petrol station in Sunderland Park, right under the camera.
Say that again?
There's a petrol station in Sunderland Park.
Yeah.
And they pull in there, obviously no helmets on, nothing. 6 or 7 of them, and obviously the garage attendant's just going to let them fill up, and the camera's there right in front of them. So why aren't they getting these people by now?
Do you know what? I guess it's down to resources and priorities. I'm going to make up a little bit here. It's down to resources and priority. Pat was saying he wants to see more coppers out and about. They ain't got the money. And I guess... Mm-hmm. Until somebody gets seriously injured, and I know there have been a couple of incidents of car on bike action and vice versa, until someone gets seriously injured, I would imagine the police are going, yeah, and do you know what? We've got finite resources. We're trying to catch, rapists and murderers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not justifying that.
Someone will get injured because there's a zebra crossing there.
Yeah.
And they don't stop for it, so there's people like mums and dads walking across there with the children. They don't stop, they just carry on going.
Yeah. Jamie, what should 75-year-olds and plus give back to the BBC now that we're giving them free TV licences?
That's a good question.
It's a good question, isn't it?
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it, though?
They should give us some of their pension.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555. All right, 75-year-olds. All right, 75-year-olds. We'll have to do them afterwards. You're getting your free TV licences. What are you going to give us in return?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, checking the M1 on the sensors, southbound at Toddington services looking slow, also very busy in patches from Luton down towards Redbourne. Northbound M1 in Northamptonshire is closed this morning between junctions 16 and 18 after a serious accident late last night. Resurfacing works underway. Closure is going to be in until around noon. There's a queue from 15A Towster Northampton services and delays on the diversion route if you're heading up into Northamptonshire. M25 anti-clockwise is slow moving from junctions 21 to 16. That's the M1 all the way round to the M40, and it's very busy actually, just spotted into Clop Hill, the A507 westbound, slow moving on the speed sensors. A1 into London, very busy through Boreham Wood, heading down towards Stirling Corner, and as for trains, a good service with no reported delays. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Events will be held across London today to mark 10 years since the 7/7 bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Andy Murray is through to the Wimbledon quarter-finals after beating Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets. Roger Federer is also through, but number 1 seed Novak Djokovic resumes later today at 2 sets all against the South African Kevin Anderson. Djokovic recovered from 2 sets down before bad light ended play last night. Murray was relieved to see off his giant opponent.
Because of his height, obviously, people don't try to lob him loads, so he can sometimes get quite close to the net by using the lob and some successful ones that made him kind of back off the net a little bit. So then I was able to use some angles on the passing shots, and yeah, that worked well.
Watford's record signing Etienne Capoue says Hornets goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez told him to join the club. The two were teammates at Spurs, with French international Capoue yesterday sealing a move thought to be worth in the region of £5.5 million. But Hungarian international Daniel Toja has announced he's leaving Vicarage Road. And Luton play a friendly this evening on their pre-season training trip to Portugal. Rory McIlroy looks set to miss next week's Open Golf Championship after rupturing an ankle ligament playing football. He's already withdrawn from this week's Scottish Open. Ian Poulter says it's a blow.
It's sad to see him potentially miss the Open, and even more a couple of other big tournaments after that as well. So there are some other great players in the world that I'm sure are going to step up to the plate, but we wish him a speedy recovery. I mean, he is world number 1. He's done a great job leading from the front up there, and hopefully he can heal that ankle very quickly and come back.
British heavyweight Tyson Fury will fight Vladimir Klitschko for the Ukrainians' world heavyweight titles in Germany on October the 24th. And Britain's Chris Froome leads the Tour de France after finishing second on stage 3, which was marred by 2 bad crashes. BBC 3 Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Did anyone die in the crashes?
No, but somebody fractured their spine, which was quite nice.
Okay, so I'm just wondering how flippant I can be about it. What would your professional opinion be?
I think you might get away with it.
Okay,
yeah.
So you say that it was marred by 2 bad crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Surely it could only have been improved by 2 crashes.
Well, it did make for quite interesting viewing last night. You were going ooh, and a lot of ooh and ah, but I think you can be you can be reasonably flippant with it.
Thank you, Simon.
I'm sure they don't think that.
Thank you.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Yeah, I don't. My father-in-law is a cyclist. He cycled a section of the Tour de France, and it just looks like flipping hard work.
Catch me if you can.
Well, someone who tried to catch them didn't try and catch them. He filmed some naughty motorcyclists in the BBC 3 Counties Radio car park. But he filmed them it can only be described as, I would say, a cowardly way, Catherine.
Covert.
Well, he filmed them from a distance. From a distance, everyone is tough. And then when they got nearer, he then turned the camera onto some young lads playing football.
Because that's not weird.
That's not weird, is it, Tony Fisher?
Hang on a second. Correction 1. I was filming them from a safe point behind my car.
Then why did you bottle it every time they came near you?
What?
Why did you bottle it every time they came near you?
Well, one of them gave me rather a rude hand gesture.
And he shouted,
"Catch me if you can."
He didn't shout, but... Yeah, no, and the reason I was filming the people playing football is because I was trying to follow the mopeds.
No, I know why you were... What?
What?
I know why you were filming the football, because every time... I've seen the film. Every time the mopeds came near you, you got scared, and that's a human reaction.
They had done a hand gesture.
Well, I think credit where it's due. At least I filmed them.
I'm giving you credit. You were on the scene, and you filmed them.
On the scene, I thought, right, fast-thinking reporter like I am.
What? I can tell from this conversation.
Camera out.
Yes.
And I filmed them.
Yeah, no, we know you filmed them.
Despite the rude hand gesture, the dangerous hand gesture.
Which hand gesture was it? Was it the coffee beans?
What?
Was it the coffee beans?
No. It was. Yes, it was. It was the coffee beans, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
But you know, there's a playground at the end of that car park, right?
Well, no, hang on.
Did you film that?
No, hang on. There's a playground with very young children.
Yeah.
Skateboarding and.
Yes, a skate park. Yeah.
And then there's these three guys on a big dirt bike, two on those little moped
I saw the
thingies.
video.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning their behaviour. I'm praising you. I'm I'm saying, Tony, that when they came near you, you then started filming the football because you didn't want to look like you were filming them.
Bravely.
I was trying to follow them, actually. I was trying to follow them. But
then how come there are huge chunks? There are huge chunks when they come near you and you're not your camera's not deliberately not pointing at them.
No, I filmed the guy going past me. But then I did put the camera down quite swiftly. And then I got in the car.
I'm not knocking you for it, Tony. I wouldn't have even got my camera out. I would have sat in the car crying like a baby until they'd gone. I'm not knocking you at all. You're a braver man than me, Gunga Din.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to stand right in the middle, head on, because I didn't think that would be appropriate.
That would have been a bit obv.
That would have been a bit of. Then I think I might have got more than the coffee gesture.
Well, then, I tell you what, we'll have more from inside the reporter's mind same time next week, Tony. Ta-ta! That is a professional, Just.
No, he's let himself down. He's let the BBC down. Disgraceful behaviour.
Hey,
He's a
tough guy.
Where was your video, Joss?
Well, no, I didn't do a video. No, I tell you what I did. I went and spoke to them. Have some of that.
Yeah, and they said,
"Catch me if you can."
You could have caught him. He was there.
Yeah, well,
catch me if you can.
Citizen's arrest. You should have done a citizen's arrest. The CA.
Do people actually do that still these days?
Of course they do.
No.
It's normally miserable old men who are doing it on shoplifters. But
I've seen it on soaps. I've never seen it in reality.
But it happens.
Have you been arrested ever?
Well, no, I haven't.
Well,
No.
you've never seen that in reality, but we know it happens.
Well, I've seen people arrested. I haven't been arrested myself, but I've seen people
Have
arrested.
you ever seen a shark in real life?
No.
How do you know they're real?
Because I've seen TV documentaries.
Yeah, I've seen TV programmes about aliens coming and inserting probes in every orifice. It doesn't mean that those things are actually real.
Well, so all I'm saying is I've never seen a citizen's arrest. I've never seen that personally. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well,
I'm not talking about sharks.
You've never seen a shark personally, but yet you still believe in sharks. So why don't you believe in citizen's arrests?
I'm sure it does happen somewhere. I've just never seen it myself.
Hey, Justin, did you go on a ghost walk last night?
I did, and I don't really want to talk about that.
Why? Because they don't exist, or?
No, because some people on that trip last night I don't think were believers. They were there for the fun, and I thought when I got there, I thought it was going to kick off. Those sort of people don't interest me.
Non-believers don't interest you?
No.
Then what are you doing hanging out with us then? Because we all...
I get paid for it, boss.
Oh, see. Hey, happy birthday, Ringo Starr.
Yes!
75 years old today.
Well done.
Geezer. You've taken Ringo to the streets.
I have, and Ringo Starr, absolute legend. The streets are buzzing for Ringo this morning. Here's my tribute to Ringo reaching the fine age of 75. Well, Ringo made it look easy. He joined the Beatles in the summer of 1962, writing classics like this along the way.
I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade.
When the Beatles split, his solo career kicked in, proving he was the real deal. Back Off Boogaloo, a fine turntable hit of its time.
I'm the greatest! And you better believe it, baby!
And if ever there was proof that he was the greatest, he even sung about himself being the greatest. So to the streets this morning we go. Here's what people had to say. Ali, you know it don't come
easy.
Happy birthday.
So Ringo's 75 today. What's your reaction?
Well, Ringo Starr, amazing person from the Beatles. It's where music started, it's where it ended.
Oh, really? It's where it started and where it ended?
Sure, it's
big as that?
Big as that. All these other bands, Oasis, everyone, Arctic Monkeys, everyone just came from the Beatles.
Ringo's listening to this right now. What would you like to say to him?
Happy birthday, Ringo.
Loving your vibe, thank you. Happy birthday, Ringo, with love from everybody at Three Counties Radio. You absolute legend.
Right. Put that in whatever format we use now that we don't use Audio Boo, and we're going to send that to Ringo. We're sending that to the man himself. My favourite Ringo song is from the White Album. It took him 5 years. In 1963, he was asked if he was ever going to write a song. He said, oh, yeah, I'm working on a song now called Don't Pass Me By. In 1968, they released the song Don't Pass Me By. It's got one of the best lines of any rock song. Just indulge me a second, Justin, please. Hang on a second. The line about a car crash is just wonderful. Hang on. Here we go. The line about a car crash.
I listen for your footsteps coming up the drive. Listen for your footsteps, but they don't arrive. Waiting for your knock, dear, on my old front door. I don't hear it. Does it mean you don't love me anymore? I hear the clock a-ticking on the mantel shelf. See the hands are moving, but I'm by myself. I wonder where you are tonight, or why I'm by myself. I don't see you. Does it mean you don't love me anymore? Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue. 'Cause you know, darling, I love only you. You'll never know it hurt me so. I'll hate to see you go, don't pass me by.
Here it comes, one of the greatest rock lines of all time.
Don't make me cry. I'm sorry that I doubted you. I was so unfair. You were in a car crash and you lost your hair.
Oh, Ringo, I'm sorry that I doubted you. I was so unfair. You were in a car crash and you lost your hair. I mean, what a story of tragedy, Dealey.
Wow.
Tragedy.
Deep. Absolutely.
Tragedy. Oh, there's something there.
I once didn't see a boyfriend for the whole summer holiday because I had a cold sore.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So I feel her pain.
How did you get that cold sore? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Justin, there's a good for the last hour. Interesting story in the papers about the England football team. The what do we call them?
The Lionesses.
What do we call them? The Lionesses. Okay.
Yes.
The FA, FIFA and FA and UEFA and all they're always getting blasted for being a little bit out of step with the rest of the world.
Being old fellas who are out of touch.
Right. Now I think I know what your opinion's going to be, but I'm going to put this to you, right?
Okay.
So the FA tweeted yesterday about the England women's football team, okay? The tweet said, our hashtag Lionesses go back to being mothers, partners and daughters today, but they've taken on another title, heroes. Your thoughts, please, Dealey.
Well, I think that is so patronising, that tweet.
Wow, I thought you'd think it's fair enough.
No, not at all. That is absolutely hideous, that tweet.
If
I can
Dealey's saying
understand.
it's sexist and it's patronising, man alive, it must be awful.
No, it's a terrible thing to say. Awful.
A sexist tweet from the FA appalled fans as England's heroines yesterday jetted home from the Women's World Cup. It read as they landed at Heathrow after bettering any men's team since 1966. Our Lionesses go back to being mothers, partners and daughters.
Whoever
well done,
wrote
girls.
that.
And you've got ovaries too. Well done. I mean,
What?
for heaven's sake.
Dealey, do us a favour. Can you what an idiot. I do did it. The crash salute was removed amid outrage. Twitter users venting their fury. I don't know. Can you take it to the streets, Just?
Oh, I will do. Absolutely. Of course I will
It's
do.
on
No
page
problem.
19 of The Sun. Dealey, thank you very much. Speak to you later on. 03459 455 555. I mean, of all the things in all the world that you could possibly tweet, that one's pretty dumb, isn't it?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, on the M25, anti-clockwise is queuing from junction 21, the M1, all the way down to junction 16, so usual delays on the anti-clockwise carriageway. Also looking quite busy, actually, anti-clockwise towards 23 South Mims, and it's also very busy on the southbound A1M towards the M25 on the sensors. Usual congestion passing Stevenage on the southbound A1M, and the M1's very heavy south of Toddington services, actually, on and off down to 9 Redbourne. The M1 in Northamptonshire's closed this morning. Northbound M1 shut between 16 and 18 for surfacing work after a serious accident late last night, and it's going to be closed until midday. Queues from 15, also delays on the A5. Plenty of drivers, I think, using the A5 north of Milton Keynes up towards the Toaster and Weedon Beck area, causing delays on the A5 this morning. And as for trains, a good service, no reported problems currently. James Wally, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. 7:46, it's Tuesday the 7th of July. I'm Iain Lee and I'm not in tomorrow. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. 2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of drugs offences following the death of a High Wycombe bodybuilder 3 years ago. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis says they have had enough and could move out of the town after nuisance motorbikes again invaded their pitch at the weekend. Let's get the weather! Oh no, hang on a second. Oh, this flipping system really is a load of old guff, isn't it? Let's try again.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. We've had 1 or 2 outbreaks of rain so far this morning, and they still continue. Lots of cloud around as well, but eventually the rain should die away, and then we'll see some breaking of the clouds. Still some cloud this morning, though, but this afternoon we should get some sunny spells. Bit breezy as well, southwesterly breeze, so it is feeling a little bit cooler. We're looking at a maximum of 22 Celsius, sunsets at 21, and the cloud's going to increase again overnight. I should say, however, before that point, the cloud disappears for this evening, so we've got some really nice evening sunshine, nice end to the day, but then overnight the cloud comes back with some outbreaks of rain, but that helps to keep things reasonably mild. 13 Celsius the minimum. Sunrise is at 04:52. The breeze still with us tomorrow, still very cloudy. 1 or 2 showers, and it's going to feel cooler still. Maximum temperature 20 Celsius, but it ends there. It does improve as we head through Thursday. More sunshine and the heat gradually returns. We could get up to 25 by the time we get to Friday afternoon, and that's your forecast.
Every weekday morning.
One partially closed and the others didn't operate at all.
I have contacted other companies who do it professionally, and they said it should have been anchored down.
The JVS Show.
It was looked over by the garage and they told me do not move the vehicle anywhere. It's a complete death trap.
The JVS Show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
I'm getting nowhere. I've tried on numerous occasions to talk to the manager of this company.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
So they said, we're going to contact the customer, we're going to have a chat, and we're going to make a gesture to that customer.
And we could do the same for you.
Without your programme, I don't know what you'd do in the morning.
The JVS Show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey, do you remember that dopey lollipop man who he's got the kids crossing the road? Have I got this right? He's got the kids crossing the road, then a fire engine turns up with all the sirens and the lights going, and instead of, getting the kids out of the way and stopping them crossing the road, he carries on letting them cross, and he stops the fire engine. He puts his hand up and stops the fire engine. What a plum!
And the firemen had to get out of the engine and get him to physically move along.
They had to pull him off, didn't they?
They had to usher him along.
Yeah, exactly. So he's on the road. They had to pull him off. Unbelievable scenes. What a plum! Well, a new lollipop man has started to work there 10 weeks after the last one got the boot. People living near the William Austin Junior School on St Ethelbert Avenue had complained it was taking too long to replace him. Well, one of those is former lollipop lady, and let's be honest, our eyes and ears there, Jackie Britton. Morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Ian. Morning.
It's nice to talk to you. We should go out for lunch one day. I feel like I know you so well now. We keep talking.
We have to, yeah, we do.
We will do. You can pay. With tough times for the BBC.
I know.
When did this? Is it a lollipop man or a lady?
It's a man. I only noticed him yesterday when we go out shopping. It was about 9:15, 10 to 9. and I noticed a man there, but he wasn't being supervised, which it makes me think that he's like a standby one.
Oh, well, would someone normally be supervised? Who'd be supervising?
When they first start, when a lollipop person starts on any site and starts the job, for 3 or 4 days they have the supervisor out with them just to give them little pointers and make sure they're okay.
Who lollipop's the lollipop man? That's what pointers do they need?
Well, basically, how to stand in the middle of the road with their arms flayed out and the pole one-sided, which way to go out, when to go out and when it's safe, how to usher the kids off the pavement onto the other side, make sure they're all, cross the road and on the pavement before they leave the road.
Yeah.
Safety issues, really. I know it seems a bit silly, you think, well, anybody can do it, but it does take, what shall I say, common sense, really, just common sense.
Oh, isn't it surprising how many people don't have common sense, though, Jackie?
Well,
isn't it, though?
It's proved it, hasn't it?
So you think that this could possibly be a stopgap?
It's probably a standby, which is good. I mean, the site's being covered, and at the end of the day, myself and all those parents and children are now going to be crossing the road safely. But I don't think they've got somebody to do it, as a regular, if you like. Somebody that's going to be employed to do that site.
Have you had a chance to? Have you spoken to any of the parents or heard any of them talking about it?
No, I haven't. I haven't actually spoken to anybody. I don't stand out there. It sounds like I do, but I don't.
You're like. Are you like my mum? My mum, bless her, was when she lived at home. She was what we used to call in the olden days a curtain twitcher, and she would
I
constantly.
I'd have to be called that now, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Oh no, and it's not. But I think it's a dying art. The art of looking out the window and knowing exactly what's going on.
Well, I'm looking after everybody, really, aren't I?
Oh no, exactly. I used to think that my mum was a nosy old so-and-so, but now I'm the same. What's she doing at number 32? I don't like that new car. Jackie, listen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks for keeping us informed, and let us know if anything else happens.
I will, Ian. Hopefully it won't.
Yeah, hopefully that's it now, Jackie. Thank you very much indeed. I like her a lot. What a nice lady. 03459 455 555. Has anyone ever pretended to be a lollipop person?
Why would you do that? You mean for fun?
For S&Gs?
Well, I'm sure they have.
Just, because you get that fella that goes around, where is it, like Bristol or Brighton or pretends to be the Batman. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't solve crimes, but if he sees someone dropping litter, he'll go and, batter them.
Which is probably frowned upon.
No, I think it's great. I think more people should dress up as superheroes and batter people.
Tell about that other person who took offence at someone dropping litter.
Oh, yeah, this was weird. This made me really uncomfortable, and I'm making up part of the story, OK, because I didn't see the first half.
Otherwise, it would have just been an out-and-out act of aggression.
Yeah, so what I saw was, and then I'll work backwards and tell you what I think most people would have made up, is I saw, you get these parents, it's usually mums, but sometimes it's dads, in Lycra, and they've got a buggy. And they're just showing off. They've got like a sports buggy, and they've got a baby in it, and they're going for a run. Because, even though I've got a baby, I can still keep fit. I can still work on my glutes. I'll just work on that. And so he was obviously out for a run, Lycra dad. He could do with losing a few pounds, actually. And all I saw was, as I turned the corner, I've been following this black Volkswagen. I remember this black Volkswagen very carefully, specifically because it had been driving quite slowly in front of me and had been annoying me. Anyway, I caught up with it, and I saw this dad hold it. He had some rubbish in his hand, and with quite an aggressive move, he tossed it into the car through the front passenger's window.
Wow.
So I make up, of course, that the someone in the car had thrown the rubbish out, and he'd got angry and had done that. And the rubbish never came back out. That rubbish stayed in that car. Now, it made me uncomfortable because this guy was, A, quite aggressive, and B, let's be honest, he was a bit of a knob dressed up like that. He was really, really. But then part of me, well, I don't know, it left me feeling violated.
You felt violated?
I felt violated that I'd seen an act of aggression like that. But I probably did the right thing.
There might have been a more diplomatic way of handling it.
Like what?
You passive aggression is what I'm saying. You knock on the window and say, "Excuse me, I think you dropped something." There you go, and you hand it to them nicely rather than wrapping it round their face.
It made me uncomfortable. 03459 455 555. Here we go. Guess what the nation's... Well, this is a lie. Sorry, am I keeping you awake?
You are, actually.
Guess what the nation's favourite drink is, according to a survey?
Tea.
No.
Coffee.
No.
Milk.
No.
Beer.
No.
Jack Daniels
No.
and Coke.
Special brew.
No.
Cider.
No.
Spiced rum.
No.
What does it begin with?
Um,
Water.
It begins with T.
Tea.
Yeah.
It's not, though.
Tea.
No, it begins with T.
Begins with T. Tango.
No.
No, how does tango the nation's
And it's like saying Tizer.
Yeah, you
Maybe
got it right.
Is it Tizer?
Oh, shut up.
No, it's not. I've got the eyes because I'm Isaac Kintizer. I was trying to think of a clever way of incorporating that slogan to do with ISIS, and I couldn't, so I left
Oh,
it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably best
Don't
not
give
to
them
go
ideas. They don't need any help with publicity.
there. Why am I spending my time coming up with advertising slogans for terrorists? I don't know. Anyone? Begins with T.
Tea.
No, yeah. Yeah. Begins with T. Anyone, guys? Because, we're here
I
until...
can't think of any drink beginning with T for some reason. Tea.
Let me give you a little clue. It begins with the letter T. There are two words. The first one begins with T. And it comes from a tap.
Tap water.
There we go. There we go.
Or Corporation Pop.
Yes, exactly. The tap water is the nation's favourite drink. No, it's not. It's just the most readily
cheapest.
available.
It's the easiest.
With bottles, okay. If tap water is the easiest drink, what's the hardest drink? There we go.
Pims, because you've got a slice of flipping cucumber.
Pims is a tough old drink.
Yeah. I don't really like it, but you feel obliged because they've gone to a lot of trouble.
What's the
got salad floating in it.
Let's do the top 5 easy drinks.
Okay.
So number 1, it's tap water. Number 2, I'm going to say a glass of cool milk.
It's not easy for the cow.
Well,
how would you like it?
I'm not talking about cows' udders.
I've been that cow. It's not nice.
What's the third easiest drink? 03459 455 555, by the way, if you want to play.
Squash.
Oh, squash involves mixing. There's got to be more drinks that don't
It doesn't though.
involve
You just put it in the bottom.
mixing
You
up.
just let the tap do the work.
Not
Lemonade.
as easy as it
direct
sounds, is
from
it?
the bottle.
No,
a beer
'cause-
when you just have to take off the lid.
No, we're getting into the realms of...
That's the easiest.
No, it's
Processed
not.
though.
And
Yeah,
also,
but it's just
the
easy.
after effects are very, very complicated. It's with
gosh.
water. With water and with milk, or the after effect is pee-pee. Maybe nausea if the milk is off.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. You know the human body can't drink more than, I'm going to say, 4 pints of milk in one go.
Well, it ain't natural, is it? Who was the first pervert who looked at a cow and thought, "I'll have some of that"?
It's not natural for humans to drink milk.
Who was the pervert who looked
Please,
at
Mummy, may I have some more? Let me suckle on your breasts.
Yeah, but
Our own.
Yeah, but you don't. Cats have milk. Do you suckle on them?
You can milk a cat. This is a fact. This is a fact, and I know because I've done this as a phone-in before. You can milk a cat.
What for?
Well, for cat milk, of course. You never tasted cat cheese? 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, the M1 certainly very busy southbound at Toddington services, and then very busy south of Luton, junction 10 towards 9 Redbourne. The northbound M1 is closed in Northamptonshire between junctions 16 and 18 for servicing after a serious accident last night. It's going to be closed until around midday. Queues start at 15. Just be aware there are long delays in patches on the A5 north of Milton Keynes through Towcester and up towards Weedon Beck on the diversion route. M25 anti-clockwise slow towards 23, the A1M. Very busy, usual delays from 21 all the way down to 16. The A1M itself is slow at Stevenage, busy into Boreham Wood, or through Boreham Wood rather, on the A1 into London, and trains, they're okay with no reported delays. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. That helps if I turn that on. So far on this morning's show, Ringo's birthday tributes. If you've ever met Ringo Starr, or you have any stories to do with drumming, or you're Pete Best, 03459 455 555. When's Pete Best's birthday? Who cares? If you want to do adverts for the BBC now that we're skint, and come on, you over 75-year-olds, what are you giving us in return for your free licences?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: 10 years since 7/7 bombings, Buckinghamshire men guilty after death of bodybuilder, and nuisance bikers back at Bedfordshire cricket pitch.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Events will be held across London today to mark 10 years since the 7/7 bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. More than 700 people were injured. Phil Duckworth from St Albans lost an eye. He was standing next to one of the bombers.
Just after Liverpool Street, I get up and get to the door, and I was stood at the door, my hand on the sort of partition, and then there was a massive white flash ringing in my ears. Honestly, I just couldn't work out what was going on. I thought I'd fallen off the train and maybe got electrocuted or something like that.
2 Buckinghamshire men have been convicted at the Old Bailey of conspiracy to produce and supply Class C steroids following the death of bodybuilder Sean Clitheroe in 2012. Mr Clitheroe died after taking the drug DNP at the Apollo Gym in High Wycombe. It's an industrial chemical not suitable for human consumption. Peter Perkins from Hazelmere and Jason King from Great Missenden will be sentenced later this month. An inquiry has found that these 6 big energy companies have been overcharging their customers because of a lack of competition in the market. The report by the Competition and Markets Authority suggests households have been paying an average of about £50 a year too much for their gas and electricity. It says reforms to simplify tariffs have not worked. A cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town to escape nuisance motorbikes invading their pitch. The Houghton Chargers play at the Village Green but have had persistent problems, the latest on Saturday when their match against Ampthill was disrupted. MP Andrew Selous told this programme he's meeting with Bedfordshire Police again later this week.
I will find out the dates of their next home games and try to make sure that the police make sure that that doesn't happen again. Being able to carry on playing cricket is absolutely, in Houghton Regis or anywhere else for that matter, is absolutely non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to let any group of young hooligans stop that happening.
Shops could open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. George Osborne will give elected mayors and councils the power to relax the laws locally. A new lollipop man has started work in Luton 10 weeks after the last one was sacked for stopping a fire engine on its way to a 999 call. People living near the William Austin Junior School on St Ethelbert Avenue had complained it was taking too long to replace him. Luton Borough Council say the hiring process could not begin until a full investigation and disciplinary proceedings had been completed. In sport, Andy Murray is through to the Wimbledon quarter-finals after beating Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets, but number 1 seed Novak Djokovic resumes later today at 2 sets all against the South African Kevin Anderson. The weather: outbreaks of heavy rain this morning, becoming drier and brighter this afternoon, a maximum temperature 22 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Fried potato waffles. They're waffly versatile. They go with chips, fish fingers.
A bit more enthusiasm, Scoins. Enthusiasm, please. That's what the public wants. That's what it demands.
Never.
Yes, it does. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I love Big Bob.
Oh, don't we all? Who doesn't?
Doorbells.
I know. Just feel that's been underused this morning, so I've made up for it there. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Listen, have you got a fiver? I tell you why, BBC's screwed. No, I mean, technically, you know, money is too tight to mention. We're looking at other funding revenue ideas. Maybe advertising is the way to go. I don't know what it would sound like on the BBC. So if you want to phone up and do an advert, 03459 455 555. Also, now that we're subbing the 75-year-olds and over, what can they give us in return? And hats off to Ringo Starr. We celebrate and we salute Sir Ringo of Starrington. Peace and love, guys. Peace and indeed love.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555. Now look, let me just get this. Simon, I don't want to pwn you, Simon, but he sent in a can you see Simon Tech?
I can see. He's talking about Paul McCartney.
Read it, and I'll explain. Read it, and then you'll tell me why you think it's wrong, and then I'll tell you why you're both wrong.
On this special day, I'm reminded of the story where McCartney was asked if Ringo was the best drummer in the world. No, replies Macca.
In the voice.
He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Now, tell me why you think that's wrong.
I bet he didn't say that.
Right, it's attributed to John Lennon, that quote.
Yeah, and I bet he didn't say that.
John Lennon didn't say it. Never got said. It was a joke. It was a joke that a comedian did. It's been traced back to a comedian in the 80s doing it as a joke, someone like Bobby Daver or something. Lennon never said it, and it's weird because it's now been attributed to him. You show me the interview or play me the audio of John Lennon saying it. He never said it. He never actually said it.
I mean, he could be a nasty piece of work, John Lennon, but I can't imagine him stabbing his mate in the back like that.
He never actually said it, and I've just retweeted, I'm going to retweet it throughout the day, a great video of Dave Grohl and loads of other drummers playing on Ringo's drum kit and explaining why he is genuinely a brilliant drummer. He's a brilliant drummer, and all this, he had his own unique style, and he was great.
The other thing is, you can hear that if you listen to the later stuff. Everyone focuses on the early stuff, which was really simple, but the guitar bits were really simple on the early stuff too. They were learning.
Tony sends in an interesting text. What's this about? Mentioning the terrorist bombers left for London from Luton. Why not say they left Aylesbury in Yorkshire? This has nothing to do with Luton. Lazy reporting. I'll mention Luton again as it's a hotbed of terrorists. I wondered why Luton. I mean, I obviously wasn't here when it all happened.
Because they were caught on CCTV. That's really kind of famous footage of them leaving Luton Station. But yeah, you're right. They weren't from Luton originally.
No,
but we didn't suggest that they were.
No. All right, on the defensive. I like it.
No, but they parked up there and left the car. And didn't the car get,
But it is. Yeah, he's right. Then why don't we say they left from Aylesbury in Yorkshire? That's where they're from.
We mentioned Aylesbury too. So is that lazy?
I'm not. Lazy's not the right word.
No, it's not. I think that's the thing I kind of disagree with Tony about.
Okay,
but yeah,
right.
But we are a local radio station, and so local links get flagged up.
Okay, it is interesting. All right, it's just an interesting one, and it's with the reason we're talking about 7/7. Well, it's 10 years ago today that it happened. 10 years ago. Oh gosh. 4 men took a train from Luton. They detonated their bombs at Aldgate, Edgware Road, Russell Square and Tavistock Square. They killed 52 people and injured more than 700 others. And I'm sure... Well, the lasting image for me is the bus, is the picture of the bus. Incredible image that kind of summed up an horrific day. Well, Paul Dodds from Flitwick was on the Aldgate train, and Paul joins me now. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Paul, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate your time. Tell us what happened to you on that morning.
Well, I was travelling from Flitwick to XL to meet Prince Charles for a celebration, and it didn't happen.
What were you going to see Prince Charles for, Paul?
I'm involved with an organisation called World Skills, where we train young people in vocational skills, and I'm the trainer for plumbing for the Olympics in vocational skills.
Wow.
And it was a welcome back and a celebration for how well we did in Finland in 2005.
So this was supposed to be a very, very special day for you, a day of celebration.
Yeah. A very big day. Yeah.
So you're on the train. Tell us what happened.
Yeah. I was on the train. Well, I got the train from Luton. I actually stood next to the bomber on the platform in London, and there were people pushing from behind because it was quite a busy train because the train was late into Luton, and otherwise everything would have happened earlier. But people were pushing from behind, and I went the next set of doors up, and probably the best decision of my life, actually. So with seconds to go, I just moved up and went in through the next set of doors. And we got to Liverpool Street, and I'd been stood in the centre of the train, and I moved towards the door with a glass panel above on my side, and we just set off from Liverpool Street, and I saw this flash, ducked down, and that was it. And then for about 5-10 minutes, I thought I was going to die because you couldn't breathe. Everything had gone out of the train. All the air had gone, everything. It was not a good time. Not a good time.
That's putting it mildly. Are you all right talking about this, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things about the therapy and I went to the counselling in London that was provided and stuff like that, and that was great. And one of the things was talking about it. I'd just finished doing a first aid course about 2 weeks before, and one of the things I really feel guilty about was on the day I couldn't do first aid. I just couldn't do it, and it was really, really bad from that aspect. It was very, very difficult. And then we got evacuated from the train, walking down the tunnel, and then, as I spoke to you 5 years ago, saw this guy, looked like he was bleeding from head to toe, and that was one of my lasting memories. And 5 years ago, you put the link together to a guy called Philip, and I did see him last night on BBC News, actually. And, that was a gap that, I didn't think that guy was going to live.
Well, this is Phil Duckworth from St Albans, and it sounds incredible. His clothes were blown off in the explosion, and but people thought he was dead. He was lying on the tracks, covered in blood, and people thought he was dead.
Well, he wasn't laid down when I saw him. He was stood up. He was just like a zombie walking down the tunnel. If you could imagine a horror movie like a zombie, it was like that. It was literally like that. And like you said, this guy, no clothes on, just walking down the tunnel. Everybody walking past him, coming the other way. So obviously, they're giving him up for, dare I say it, being dead. And it wasn't a pretty sight at all.
If I ask anything, Paul, that is too personal or you don't want to say, then please tell me, and I won't be offended, of course. It's just this is the first time I've spoken to somebody who was so directly involved in that day. And you say you saw the flash. Did you know what it was?
No. All I saw was a flash go off, and then it was like a ball of flame or whatever came through, and I just ducked down behind the glass panel, and it rolled straight across the top of my back. And then obviously the carriage was full of glass from fluorescent lights and stuff like that. But you couldn't breathe. There was no air in the carriage at all. The windows to the side of me, they were all covered in a yellow powder. I told everybody to get down onto the floor. People were wanting to break windows, and I was saying, don't break the windows. You don't know what's on the outside. Because you don't.
And how long, Paul, were you in the carriage before you got taken off the carriage?
Seemed like a lifetime, but it was probably less than about 10 minutes.
And were people talking? Were they crying?
No.
What was it just silent?
Really quiet. The only time that there was people got distressed was after the smoke and everything cleared inside the carriage. Somebody looked out the window, and obviously in the centre, because we was like on the left track, on the right-hand track, there was bodies on the track that had been blown out of the train. And then people started to get quite upset.
And did you speak to anybody, or were you kind of in your own little shocked world?
I was in my own little world.
Yeah.
People came running from the next carriage down with water and things like that, and obviously running towards the injured. But in the carriage where I was, pretty much people just stayed where they were, probably in shock. And to be fair, I didn't realise I was suffering from shock. When I come out and we ended up above ground, I rang somebody up and I said there's been a bomb on the train. And the guy at the other end said, "Oh, well, don't worry about that. Just get here and you'll be fine." And that was my mind just suddenly went, "Oh, I've got to get a taxi or something to get to where I need to be."
I bet.
And I saw a policeman, and they took all my details and everything else, and I jumped in a taxi. And when I got to the XL Centre, there was paramedics waiting for me at the XL Centre.
For you specifically?
Like
they were waiting for you specifically?
because obviously by that time, in the 5-10 minutes it took to get to the XL Centre, people hadn't realised what it was, and I was on my way, you see. So people met me at the door, and there was paramedics, and they took me to the toilet, managed to get me washed up and everything else the best I could. But I didn't realise I was suffering from shock.
When did it hit you?
About 15 minutes after people started making a fuss.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
You know, and it really was. You know, my friends, my World Skills friends, were tremendous. You know, I'm still friends with them today. Still do the job today. You know, you know, people have been absolutely superb. I will say that. You know, it was a day I'll never forget. Never forget.
And you mentioned that you'd had therapy. I'm guessing that was offered to everybody who was involved in the bombings.
Yeah, we went down to London. You was offered cognitive therapy. To be fair, when the anti-terrorist squad, a couple of days later, came to my house and 6 hours of questioning. They came to my house, took all my clothes away, everything else. But they offered some advice because I was going on holiday a couple of weeks later to Turkey. They offered me advice on where to go and where not to go in Turkey, how to protect yourselves in the market and on the transport in Turkey, because obviously there's a terror threat in Turkey then, and there still is. How to protect yourself. And then they said, you know, like this counselling. And I went to the counselling, and the terrorist police or the security services, they kept sending you letters to say, tomorrow this is going to be on the news, tomorrow this is going to be on the news, this is going to happen. And it was very good because I went into quite severe depression. I was on tablets up until about 2 years ago for it because it was quite bad. And I still get depression, you know, because sometimes life deals you a bum card, and it's very hard to deal with. And I find it very hard to deal now with situations that get quite stressful.
So is situations separate from that incident 10 years ago you struggle with, whereas perhaps before the bomb you would have been able to cope with them?
Yeah. Nowadays the wheels come off the trolley.
Yeah.
Every time I have a problem, the wheels come off the trolley, and I get very, very depressive because I'm you know, I just look at the bad side of life, you know, and sometimes I need to look at the good side of life as well.
Have you got family and friends around you, Paul, that help?
Yeah. Got family. My wife, I mean, she works at Harlington School. She's 100% behind me. My kids are superb. You know, you couldn't ask for better things that way. They don't talk about it a great deal. The last 2 days there's been quite a bit of stuff on telly, like the Song for Jenny and things like that, which was quite good. You know, but I don't tend to watch a lot of it. I'm rather glad that I'm out this morning because I don't get a lot of it this morning.
I was going to ask, Paul, does stuff like this, does us banging, obviously we're talking about it a lot and it will be everywhere, does that make it easier? Does that make it worse? Are you indifferent to it?
People need to know what happened that day. People need to know what happened that day. There were some misguided individuals, and I will say misguided. I'm sure if they knew different, they wouldn't have done what they did, but they did do what they did. At the time, I worked at Banfield College. I was teaching down Bury Park. The people that I was teaching down in Bury Park at CYCD were very supportive, and they were quite shocked at what happened. You know, so people in Luton, in Bury Park and things like that they were as gobsmacked as anybody else as to what actually happened.
I've got to ask, Paul, did you get to meet Prince Charles in the end?
No.
Has it still not happened?
He was how should I say? He was whisked away.
Oh, I bet.
To somewhere safe.
Oh, I bet he was in a bunker somewhere. And you've not met him in the 10 years since?
No. In 2011, through World Skills, I managed to go to Buckingham Palace for afternoon tea with Prince Andrew.
It's just an incredible story, Paul, and I really appreciate you sharing it with us. You've kind of you made it real again, and I hope that. Well, I hope that this has helped you, and I certainly hope that it's not made things worse or brought you down at all.
No, and above all, we've got to remember our security services are doing a magnificent job. Our forces do a magnificent job in trying to stop it all. And they've in their lives as well in this cause as well.
Paul, thanks a lot.
Okay, no worries.
Well done, thank you, mate. Cheers. There we go. Paul Dodds. He was on the Aldgate train.
I feel a letter to Prince Charles coming on.
I think we have to write a little letter to Prince Charles, don't we? I do feel a little bit. I feel a little bit guilty talking to Paul.
Yeah.
Because obviously he wanted to talk and we didn't in any way force him or anything like that. But I kind of feel like it's his business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I can't be any more specific than that. And obviously he's completely willing to talk, and we would never have coerced him or anything like that. That was his decision. But I feel like it's his. I feel like we've really pried into someone's private business. But
we approached a number of survivors, and I've got to say the majority did not want to speak, and that's their prerogative.
And good for them. Good for them.
There are others like Paul who feel like it's almost a duty. It's almost the reason, not the reason why they went through it, but if some sense has to come from it, it's about raising awareness, I guess. But
good for them.
Such a tricky thing to talk about.
There's me saying that I feel slightly exploitative. We will put some of that in the podcast, I think, because I think it's a powerful story. It's the first time I've spoken. I think it's the first time. It must be the first time I've spoken to somebody who was so closely linked and involved in that experience.
I was working that day, and we got repeated phone calls from one particular person that we know and love at the station, who was on one of the trains. And I just remember the phone call coming in, and she said, "There's been it feels like there's been a crash." She said, "They're telling us it's a power outage. I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not." And then as things went on, we got more phone calls, and finally we found out she was safe. But that shocked not just London, but the UK to its core, because we'd never experienced anything like this, had we? Certainly not my generation.
No. I love. It did make me laugh when he phones up his mates at work and they say, "Oh, don't worry, Paul, just get in a cab. It doesn't matter if you're a bit late." And that's it, because people at the time didn't realise exactly how significant it was, and you're in shock and you think, "Oh, I'm going to be late. I've got to."
But someone would say to you, someone had a bomb on the train, and it would never occur to you that it had gone off.
It did make me laugh. Just get in a cab, Paul. You'll be all right, mate.
But the thing is, we lived through a childhood bomb scares, hadn't we?
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right. 03459 455 555. If you want to share your thoughts on that. BBC Three Counties Radio. We missed the travel, but let's do some of the business we need to do. It's 8:23. It's Tuesday, the 7th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. Shops could open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town after nuisance motorbikes again invaded their pitch at the weekend. 03459 455 555. We'll find out more about those motorbikes after this.
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
Put it this way, I used to drink at least 8 or 9 litres of cider a day.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's no secret that I enjoy a glass or two of Pinot Grigio.
There's more information on the tin of beans, its contents, than there is on the bottle of wine.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
I'm the worst kind of person in terms of someone that may have problems in the future, because I'm what I would consider a middle-class drinker.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Sorry, this is probably not a good conversation to be having with a former alcoholic.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed.
These things got to be spoke about, haven't they? So,
Yes.
I've no intention of going back to it. I've got too much to lose now.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Now, it's a problem that won't go away. Off-road motorbikes in Dunstable and Houghton Regis. You want to see a video of them in Dunstable, filmed by our intrepid reporter Tony Fisher? Then go to facebook.com/BBC3CR. But Houghton Regis, it started, last year when the local cricket team, the Houghton Chargers, they are the official cricket team of this show, guys, by the way. They came to us for help keeping them off their pitch long enough to bowl an innings. Well, after getting local MP Andrew Selous involved, it looked like everything was sorted. But now the nuisance bikes are back. Aziz Chowdhury is captain of the Houghton Chargers. Morning, Aziz.
Morning, Ian.
Nice to talk to you again. Not nice to be talking to you again about the same problem. Things got better, didn't they? How did they improve?
Things got better obviously last season when we had police help, like they were monitoring our game, few of them. And obviously council were a little bit more helpful. And thanks to Andrew Selous, who really initiated and helped us to raise our voice to police, and they come to monitor. So that was improvement. But since this season started, it's not the first time we had a problem against last game, against Amtil. Well, we had a problem. I wrote to Andrew Selous this season as well, and I think he forwarded my email to police. But police is saying that they don't have resources to tackle this problem, or even provide us policing at the ground to carry on our matches,
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because the police resources are stretched. But if they can't do policing, then what's the point of having them?
Yeah, I think we are the home team, Houghton Regis, and we feel pressure when we have a home game. We should have advantage playing at home, but whenever we get the home game, I say, I think so. It's quite embarrassing in terms of because we couldn't provide a good environment to the host teams, and it's antisocial behavior. Like we have spectators coming to see us. We have got disabled obviously people coming to see us. They enjoy our cricket, and it's the group in the village, like we play there, and it's good for community. But imagine if let's say if we won't find another ground, or if we just pack our bags and 30 players are out of cricket. And also community will be out of this good sport, So there's no platform for youngsters to build their game or engage themselves in this wonderful sport.
And you, of course, last year you invited the bikers to come down and play.
I did, but unfortunately, I think they didn't come to play.
You are the official cricket team of this show, Aziz. How are the Houghton Chargers doing? The motorbikes to one side. How are things going for the team?
I think the team things are really going well. Like we are on second of the table at the moment, but still half of the season left. So we are aiming to we are defending champions.
Come on, Aziz.
And we are doing our best whatever in our control to defend our title.
Good for you. What needs to be done, Aziz? Finally, what needs to be done to stop this problem? Do you think?
I think what needs to be done is at least not for cricket, but I know they just ride on the roads and then the people. So police needs to do something about tracking these bikers, or they need to obviously find a solution for that, because it's not we are only suffering. I think the other people in the town and people are suffering as well. So it's widespread. So they need to come up with the solution. Maybe more CCTV. I don't know. Obviously, this is their job to do, but council and police, they need to come up and because they need to find a solution. Otherwise, this antisocial behavior really will leave us isolated from other teams not coming here and outrageous to play.
Aziz, listen, I've got to move on. I appreciate your time as always. And boy, oh boy, we support the Houghton Chargers like nobody's business. I don't even like the game of cricket, and yet I'm giving them my official thumbs up to the Houghton Chargers. Let's see what happens, shall we? 03459 455 555. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks, Ian. We're really slow on the A1M. I've just spotted on the speed sensors Welwyn Garden City towards the Welwyn area, slow moving. Southbound at Stevenage, very heavy as normal. Anti-clockwise M25, heavy towards 23 for South Mims, and then it's really slow, busier than usual this morning, 19 down to 16 towards the M40. M1's not too bad at all, although it is slow. Having said that, northbound up towards junction 14 for Milton Keynes. Southbound is also looking very heavy towards 14, and be aware that the M1 in Northamptonshire closed northbound between 16 and 18 after an accident last night. Surfacing works continuing until around midday, and there are delays from junction 15 and also on the diversion route which takes in the the A45 and the A5. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. Events will be held across London today to mark 10 years since the 7/7 bombings. 4 suicide bombers, including Jermaine Lindsay from Aylesbury, met at Luton Station before travelling to the capital and killing 52 people on 3 underground trains and a bus. Shops could open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. And a cricket club in Houghton Regis say they've had enough and could move out of the town after nuisance motorbikes again invaded their pitch at the weekend.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Andy Murray beat Ivo Karlovic in 4 sets to progress to the quarter-finals at Wimbledon for the 8th successive year. Murray will play Vasek Pospisil in the last 8 tomorrow, but defending champion Novak Djokovic still has work to do. He came from 2 sets down to level his match with Kevin Anderson before bad light stopped play. They'll resume on court 1 at 1 o'clock this lunchtime. Rory McIlroy looks set to miss next week's Open Golf Championship after rupturing an ankle ligament playing football. He's already withdrawn from this week's Scottish Open. Ian Poulter says it's a blow.
It's sad to see him potentially miss the Open, and even more a couple of other big tournaments after that as well. So there are some other great players in the world that I'm sure are going to step up to the plate, but we wish him a speedy recovery. I mean, he is world number 1. He's done a great job leading from the front up there, and hopefully he can heal that ankle very quickly and come back.
Watford's record signing, Etienne Capoue, says Hornets goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez told him to join the club. The two were teammates at Spurs, with French international Capoue yesterday sealing a move thought to be worth in the region of £5.5 million. But Hungarian international Daniel Toja has announced he's leaving Vicarage Road. And Luton play a friendly this evening on their pre-season training trip to Portugal. British heavyweight Tyson Fury will fight Vladimir Klitschko for the Ukrainians' world heavyweight titles in Dusseldorf on the 24th of October. More from Mike Costello.
This will be Vladimir Klitschko's 50th fight in Germany. It will be the 19th defence in his second reign as a world champion. In his 2 reigns as the title holder, he's made 23 successful defences. Just to put that in context, it's 4 more than Muhammad Ali made, and a win against Fury on October the 24th will leave him just 1 short of the heavyweight record, which is held by the great Joe Louis.
And Britain's Chris Froome leads the Tour de France going into stage 4 today. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
So, let's briefly summarise what we know, shall we? The 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and finally, the 80s. Thank you, and good night.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the phone number. I think we're all still recovering ever so slightly, if that's not too patronising word, from speaking to Paul Dodds, who was on the Aldgate train 10 years ago today. Flippin' heck, and we'll see if we can put that interview out as a special little podcast. 03459 455 555. Any texts?
Let's have a look at.
Let's have a look at the Texas.
We've got something from Barry in Hemel talking
All right,
about
Bazza.
75-year-olds. We're asking what have they done to deserve their
freebie.
Their freebie.
We're taking on BBC taking on the benefit system, and that's fine, and we can do that. But what are you giving us, 75-year-olds?
Well, Barry from Hemel's got an idea.
Yeah.
He says 75-year-olds have already given the BBC at least 70 years of loyalty.
Well,
They were paying for an ongoing service, weren't they?
And they weren't paying for it for 70 years. Their mummies and their daddies were, when it was 2 guineas and a shilling pence.
A few cutbacks will soon cover this minor amount in their budget. One obvious one is to superimpose buildings like hospitals or Downing Street instead of constantly sending reporters to stand outside them. So he's saying,
that's not bad.
Well, I mean, also rethink why we need to be standing outside when the thing's not happening anymore.
Green screen technology is so cheap now. We could do it on a Mac out there.
It looks a bit rubbish, though.
It does
If
look a
you're
bit
willing to put
rubbish.
up with it, then it'd save a few quid.
That'll save a few quid.
That's a good idea. Thanks very much, Barry.
Thanks, Baz. Nice one. Appreciate that, mate.
And Simon has the easiest drink of all.
Yeah.
Rainwater.
Well, no,
Simply
it's not.
open your mouth and look upwards. Hey.
Yeah, we're on the radio. Could you shut up?
Honestly.
Flip it, heck. What a plum. Rainwater's really difficult. You've got to have a barrel.
He says, no, you simply open your mouth and look up.
No, you don't.
Simon
You've got
and Stevenage.
well, someone has suggested saliva, which is disgusting. No, rainwater, you've got to have a barrel. No. Tap
know
water, you just need a tub.
You know what Bear Grylls drink? I mean, there's nothing he doesn't drink.
He
but
drinks his own wee-wee.
Mm.
Well, that is. If you've ever tried to do that, that is difficult.
Didn't Demi Moore do that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was part of her cleansing regime.
There's nothing clean about drinking urine.
Mm. Morning crew, there's always off-road bikes razzing up and down the busway causing a dust cloud, says Jay.
Ragging.
Ragging around.
They're ragging around.
I don't understand why the police don't ride down the busway on their motorbikes to police it and catch them, says Jay. Doesn't get it. And John says, hi, I give the police and council the address of the people ragging around. Second use of ragging around. Thank you very much.
We've lost the clip
But nothing is
of
done.
Ollie Moores, the police and pop commissioner. Not Ollie Moores. Ollie Martins, the police and pop commissioner for Bedfordshire. We've lost the clip of him saying ragging around. So if somebody wants to phone up and fake that clip for us...
Or, Ollie, if you're listening, maybe you want to rerun the... Well, it wasn't fun. It was a serious point you were making. But if you wouldn't mind...
That would be awesomeness personified. Thanks very much indeed. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Here's the phone-in I wanted to do, and I never got round to doing it.
Go on.
Bald people with hair.
Well, then they're barely bald.
Barely. There we go. Thank you. This is why you get the big dollars.
Yeah.
Barely bald. Do you know what I'm thinking of? Because I see this every time and I think, oh, flipping it, mate.
Or barely hairy.
Barely bald.
Go on.
Ant, who's with Prince Charles, by the way.
Ant and Dec.
Ant and Dec. Ant is barely bald. He's got no hair, but yet he's got hair. How do you do that?
There's a lot of face there.
That's
a distraction.
He should just accept defeat. Just accept defeat. Who's the billionaire? Who's the billionaire end? Trump.
With his shredded wheat.
Trump. What is that all about? What's on Trump's head?
It's a high fibre cereal.
It is incredible what that man has got balanced on his nut.
Something I noticed the other day, and people are not going to like it.
Yeah.
Boris.
Yeah.
Boris is not kidding anybody.
But barely bald. I just think admit defeat. If you're going bald, right? Go bald. There's no shame. I mean, there's a little bit of shame in it. It's embarrassing and it's humiliating, but it's fine. Go bald. Easy for me to say as a man who will never go bald.
I know, your trousers do need pulling up quite a lot when you bend over.
03459.
Hairy back, that's what I'm saying.
455 555 is the telephone number if you want to...
Mick Fleetwood.
Well, Mick Fleetwood, for a long time he was bald ponytails, but yeah, he's barely bald. He's
barely bald.
He's barely bald. Barely bald. There we go.
Welcome.
Francis Rossi, of course.
Famously.
The famous denier.
Steve, have you got hair?
Yeah, I've got loads of it.
Where?
Oh.
In a box
On
under
my
the
head.
stairs. On your head. Well, that's great to know, Stephen. Excellent stuff. What would you like to say? Who would you like to offend this morning?
Well, where should we start? No.
But seriously.
The police, if we can't rely on the police to protect the cricketers and the cricket pitch, surely we should have our own police force, the local people, vigilantes. We should bring the vigilantes back. Because we're paying all this money for police services, but it's not necessarily the police fault, it's the government, the council and everything else, but You know, if you can't rely on someone else, you have to do it yourself.
Okay, and what do you suggest these vigilantes do? Go out with shotguns and burning forks? No, not forks. Well, burning fork. Why not? Actually, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. The idea of the shotgun ain't a bad idea. I'm sure they wouldn't be going across the pitch on the motocrosser when there's a shotgun.
Yeah. But what's your serious point?
Well, no. Surely we should police our own vigilantes. Well, the police are no good, are they?
Right, but
For
what are they?
whatever
Tell me
they're
what.
wet blankets.
They what?
They're wet blankets.
Oh, okay. So tell me what the vigilantes should do.
Well, we would obviously train them up.
Oh, we're training them now, are we?
Well, we'd have to. You've
All
got
right.
to do something. You can't let these jobbos go around riding on motorbikes without having a threat. If they get a threat, then they won't take the chance. They only do it because they get away with it. And
Okay.
also, the other issue is councils don't provide motocross circuits, go-kart circuits. They don't provide stuff. And
Catch
stuff
me if you
goes
can.
here as well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there isn't enough facilities around. But that's either here or there. I mean, you're always going to get scumbags in any.
Well, yeah,
any part of
exactly.
the world,
There are facilities around, and flipping it. We want to spend money on dirt tracks.
Yeah, but we live in ghetto Luton and ghetto and Dunstable, which a lot of people on low wages they can't afford to go to the go kart or send their kids. You know what I mean? It's like 40 or 50 quid at a time. It's
Well,
quite
then
a
don't
lot.
go.
I mean,
Then
surely-
don't go.
surely
They
the
can
coun-
afford. They can afford the bikes.
Yeah, well, we know that they can afford the bike and the petrol. But you know where I'm coming from. We need to try and do different angles to try and get these jobbos off and teach them a lesson. And it's same as school. There's no discipline at school.
Do you mean give them a kicking?
Well, not a kicking. No, they've got to know what the law is, and they're going to get it if they don't toe the line.
When you say, this is what I want to focus on, Steve. What do you mean they're going to get it? Get what? A battering?
Well, they might get a good idea. What's wrong with that?
Because you
When
can't go
I
around.
was a kid, we
God.
got good ideas when we'd done something.
And it never did you no harm, did it?
No, of course I'm all right.
Yeah, you're completely normal and not in any way bigoted or phone up at radio stations talking rubbish all the time.
Listen, they say the mentally ill know the truth.
No, they say the mentally ill need help.
No, I don't need help, mate. It's the rest of you that are suppressed by the government, the police, and freedom of speech.
Okay, there we go, Stephen. Thank you very much indeed. We are welcome to the suppressed media, where we are being suppressed by the government. Thank you, Stephen, for phoning up and talking out of your bum. 03 459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. So here's something, and I thought this existed already, because you can get drive-thrus now for pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. There's on the way back from Birmingham to my house, there is and I don't use it now because they really charge a fortune, but there's a service station that's got a drive-through Starbucks.
Right.
But they charge a lot of money.
When did we become a nation who drove through for coffee?
Well, I blame Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, that guy.
What other drive-thrus? Well, anyway, here's one. Love pasties but hate queues?
Wow. I don't love them that much.
Then you will be happy to hear the good news. The world's first Cornish pasty drive-through is now open. The shop, based in the Cornish town of Rock. There's no town called...
there is.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is. Very
Don't-
nice.
you
Richard
just-
and Judy are fond of rock.
Richard hates me. He hates me. He slagged me off in an article a couple of years ago, and I've sent him 3 emails to an email address that I know he has access to, just saying, "Come on, let's sort this out." I apologise for any slight I may have made.
Why?
I used to make jokes about his wife being drunk years ago.
Well,
Okay,
I can see why he's tense about that.
but I've worked with his son. His son Jack's a nice lad. Chloe,
Despite everything.
Chloe, put some clothes on.
I think he's a plum, so let the war continue.
I don't want a war. I want peace.
He gets on my wick.
I want peace.
See my wick? Richard's on it.
Richard's on it, look. It allows hungry drivers to place their order at one window before driving to the next to collect their traditional West Country delicacy. I know
Alternatively, you're in Cornwall. How hard is it to find a pasty?
the shop isn't just for those on the go. You can also linger over a pasty in the 100-seat restaurant. Owner and Cornish pasty expert. Oh, flippers. I mean,
what's to know?
If their surname's not Ginsters, I'm out.
It's like, beige meat in disappointing pastry.
Marion Simmons spent 18 months working on the business, which opened yesterday. She said, I'm from Cornwall. The drive-through is important because I don't like queuing. It's the perfect place for what I'd like to achieve for Cornwall in my business. Once you get the craving to bake, it's in your blood. Yeah. Mrs. Simmons, who owns 2 other bakeries in Cornwall, if she loves pasties so much, she should consider buying pasties a ring, getting down on her knee and proposing to it, and she should consider marrying them.
Or get a recipe, make a big batch. I'm sure they freeze all right. She can have pasties whenever she wants.
And she should stick them up her bum.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, the M1, first of all, northbound is particularly slow heading up towards Milton Keynes this morning, keeping an eye on the speed sensors. It's slow moving from 13 up towards 14, and it's also very busy on the southbound A509 from Chichley towards Milton Keynes, possibly because of roadworks, possibly with those avoiding the northbound M1 in Northamptonshire. Just be aware, the northbound M1 is closed between 16 and 18 after a serious accident late last night. They're having to resurface quite a long stretch of the carriageway. Queues start at 15, and there are long delays on the A5 from Toaster up in towards Weedon, the Weedon-Beck area. Now the northbound A1M, that's slow moving from Welling Garden City towards Welling. A little unsure as to the reasons behind that. Anti-clockwise M25, very heavy from 21 down to 16, and a check on the trains. Well, generally a good service across the three counties. If you are heading into London to take a Eurostar train to the continent, just be aware there are delays in the Channel Tunnel because of problems within the Channel Tunnel this morning. James Wally, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. I do fancy a pasty. Who's doing a Greg's Run? Anyone? Greg's Run? Thank you, Catherine. 8:46. Oh, look at the weather, isn't it rubbish? We'll get to the weather in a second with Kate. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Services will be held today to mark 10 years since the London bombings, when 4 suicide bombers travelled from Luton Station to kill 52 people in the capital. Cabin crew at EasyJet will be balloted for industrial action in a dispute over a pay rise. And shops could open for longer on Sundays under plans to be set out by the Chancellor in tomorrow's budget. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A lot of cloud around today, and the rain has just about arrived. We've got a band of rain which is working its way eastwards this morning. Some heavier bursts in there at the moment. Just about clearing the western fringes of Buckinghamshire as we speak. Behind it, we've still got the cloud, but later we'll get some thinner areas, so brighter with some sunny spells. Still the chance of maybe an outbreak of rain or two, but a strengthening southwesterly breeze will make it feel a little cooler than it has done recently. 22 Celsius the maximum. Now later on this afternoon and into this evening, the cloud almost disappears and we get a really nice end to the day actually with some sunshine. 21 the sun sets, and overnight the cloud's going to come back again, bringing with it some outbreaks of rain. Minimum 12 Celsius. 04:52 the sun rises tomorrow. It's quite a dull day. A lot of cloud, some showery rain, and it's going to feel cooler still. Still breezy as well for Wednesday with a maximum of 20 Celsius. But the good news is it improves for Thursday and Friday. More sunshine and it's getting warmer again. That's your forecast.
Thank you, Kate.
Every weekday from 3. Local stories.
People in Watford are being urged to celebrate their local heroes by creating a postcard in their honour. In other local news, rugby fans are being warned to watch out for fake World Cup tickets.
Roberto Peroni.
Now, a metal detectorist has discovered an archaeological find in a field near Royston in Hertfordshire. Taxi drivers in Luton are demanding to be allowed to drive in bus lanes at all times. There is to be a new station at the Leighton Buzzard Narrow Gauge Railway.
Roberto Peroni. Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555. Dave's in Potton. Morning, David.
Morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
My mate Andrew Reid reckons Kelly's voice is very sexy.
He's wrong.
Is he?
It's not a sexy voice at all. No.
He reckons it is.
No, well, he's wrong.
He reckons she's gorgeous.
Well, well, now, you're saying that she's gorgeous. That's a different matter altogether and one I'm not prepared to discuss. Her voice is not sexy, though. Her voice is, what's the word? What's the word, Catherine?
I don't want to get in on this.
Annoying is what you said earlier. Yeah, annoying. Her voice is annoying.
Nah, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Lovely.
No.
I reckon she should take over from you, I reckon.
What the heck? All right, then fine. Me and Kath will shut up. It's the Kelly and David show.
Yeah, right. I'm too busy to do a show.
Me too.
You're not?
Oh,
I
yeah.
am.
No, you can't be.
I am. I've got loads going on.
No, you can't.
What do you mean?
No, you can't have too much on.
Why?
Because you can't.
That doesn't make sense. You're not giving me a reason.
No, I can't give you a reason.
David, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, let's have a chat.
Well, I sit in the Weybridge at the moment.
Why?
No. To do lorry tickets. Lorries.
Lorry ticking?
Yeah, tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, so lorries go out with loads of sand and that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my mate Andrew reckons your voice is sexy, but he has to drive a loading shovel.
Oh.
He has to load the lorries.
Thanks.
So he didn't phone you see. He's scared.
Hi, Andrew. Just call. It's really easy. 0345 9455 555.
Yeah, now you've told him because he was listening to you.
Oh.
Listening to you on the radio on the loading shovel.
On the loading shovel? What's he loading?
Well, he's loading lorries.
Yeah, but what's he putting on the lorries?
Oh, sand.
Where's that going?
It goes to asphalt plants. It's all
Oh,
over. It's to Heathrow, Wembley, Ilford, Ipswich.
Well, thanks for calling, David.
I've never been more turned on.
Well, at least it's a loading lorry, and it's not an unloading lorry. Although.
Dealey.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Gosh, don't people who fancy Kelly, aren't they?
They fulfil a certain criteria.
They're dull. Thank you for that. Oh, David, are you still there?
Yes, mate, yeah.
Oh, flipping out, I'm being rude about you. You should, put the phone down. I can't cut him off. Are you still there, David?
Yes, mate.
No, I can't cut you off. Oh, I haven't got that, Hang on, I'm going to cut you off. Hang on.
Yeah.
Right, he's gone now.
Yeah,
Good.
I know. Can I put
You gone, David? He's gone. Good. Okay. Well, that's a relief because I was being rude about the guy. There we go. 03459 455 555. Andy's on the line. Morning, Andy.
Hello, Iain.
Hello, Andy. What you got for us?
That was a bit boring, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just? You think you can do better?
All about sand. Go on.
You're through to Kelly Betts.
Why? I mean,
Yeah.
hi. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Kelly.
What?
Kelly is lovely. She's got a very sexy voice, like the bloke said, but she's very nice. Because she's always nice on the phone. But the thing is, I'm going to Germany soon to see my son. It's his 30th birthday party. And he's having a casino party there.
That's good.
What about that?
That's fun.
Yeah. He's having a roulette wheel and his croupier is coming in to do it.
Oh, dear.
That actually sounds quite good.
Is this doing it for you, Iain?
Frankfurt.
I mean, it really. I'll be honest. This is perhaps this is even more boring than the old man talking about someone loading up a truck with sand to take to asphalt companies in Wembley.
It's like, do you remember when we went to see 50 Shades of Grey and we thought it was going to be
Yeah.
and it was rubbish. This
Just
is
like
like
this.
50 Shades of Beige.
What's interesting is that Andy has called in to say he can do better than the last fella. If anything, he's doing worse. He's firing blanks.
Hang on, let's have a listen. You might have brightened up now.
What are you going to get him? What are you going to
is-
get him, Andy? What are you going to get your son for his birthday?
I mean, there are lines for
I've
this.
already got. I have given him some money, but I'm also giving him
He's giving money as a birthday present. I mean, how unimaginative.
I bet it's 30 quid.
Is that? Yeah, quid per year. Yeah.
I'm giving him a Luton Town training shirt as well.
God, what's he done to deserve that?
This sounds perfect.
Well, Andy,
Perfect
it's been really
birthday.
great. It's been really great listening, Andy. I'm gonna cut you off now.
I'm
Bye,
getting
Andy.
him a million.
Okay. Now I've worked out that I can do that. I can get rid of people. I'm really sorry, Justin. I thought that was going to go somewhere and it just disappeared down.
They thought it was going to go
drain.
somewhere as well.
Yeah, I think he failed. He should have talked about the Frankfurt sausage.
Sorry?
The Frankfurt sausage?
Okay, I've got literally no idea.
Is he speaking English?
I don't know what he's
The
speaking.
Frankfurt sausage boss.
Yeah, I know what sausage.
Interesting, historic, legendary. He's just spoken about that.
Okay, well that didn't happen. On the text says Adrian says after 27 years in Canada, I find both Kate and Kelly have accents that sound pretty exotic.
Blimey, must be hard up.
Well, yeah, I think that's what he's hinting at. Now, Justin!
Yes!
So, this amazing tweet that everyone thought was a joke yesterday when it popped up online. Where is it? Where's my page now on this? My newspaper's just... There it is, page 19. This is a tweet from the FA about the women's football team who did brilliantly. Did they come third?
Yeah,
in
they
the
got
World
to the
Cup?
semi-finals and he finished third, yes.
Okay.
They beat Germany.
Okay, so the FA tweeted, "Our lionesses go back to being mothers, partners and daughters today, but they've taken on another title, heroes." You think what? What? I mean, look, in the great scheme of things, you know, some of the calls we've taken today, a load of worse things have happened in the world. But
of course.
Really, what were they thinking when they sent that tweet?
Well, the FA's content editor, James Callow, has apologised. He said, you know, it wasn't meant like that, but hey, it's out there to all of their Twitter followers. You asked me to take this one to the streets this morning to get people's reaction. Was it sexist? Some people absolutely furious about this tweet.
Yes.
Here's what the streets had to say. What do you think about that, madam?
Load of rubbish.
Nearly swore then, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're that angry about it?
Yeah. I used to play ladies football for Whitbread's Lady years ago. And the men used to sneer at us and all that sort of thing, but at least the ladies got a medal more than the bleeding men could do. And that's all I want to say.
Okay, you okay?
Yeah, thank you.
So you've got your newspaper there. You've read all about this tweet. Is it sexist?
I think it is, yeah. It's just a bit it's a bit old-fashioned, really. That's why. But
It's the FA through and through, isn't it? I'm meant to be impartial, but they're known for this sort of thing, aren't they?
maybe it gets a bit of publicity as well. Yeah. But there we go.
Oh, before you go, did you watch any of the games?
Be honest, I didn't know.
Can I ask why you didn't watch? I mean, you're a man who loves his football. Why didn't you watch the England ladies? And be honest.
Well, to be totally honest, it just didn't stir up enough sort of emotion. That type of thing, really.
Wasn't for you?
Just basically wasn't for me, no.
Okay, thanks very much.
All right, mate.
I think it is sexist. Women have got equal rights, the same as men. We don't always go back to being mothers, daughters and things like that.
It's wound you up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has a bit, yeah.
And the person who's written that, what do you think about that person? It was written by a man, by the way. What's your thoughts on the person who wrote that tweet?
And it's male chauvinist pig.
Gosh.
Exactly, anger.
Strong, angry words there from the people of Dunstable. I'm now concerned that I'm going to make a Greg's run, and I'm scared it might all kick off.
No, you'll be fine, because you've said this morning publicly that this tweet is wrong, which means the ladies of Dunstable will probably love you for that.
That terrifies me even more than the thought of violence. Justin, well done, mate. Good stuff. Speak to you later.
Okay, cheers, bye.
Tata, thank you very much. That caller dropped off, did they? I was going to go to Rob, who wanted to come on the show, and... then Rob bottled it.
Hang on a second, he should still be there.
Oh, look, Brian sent in a text.
Oh, how nice.
What a boring programme and presenter from Brian.
Oh, how nice.
Is that actually his name? Because I can't see all the other...
Let's have a look.
He sent in 120 texts during his texting life.
The name he uses a lot, let's just check.
Boring.
Yeah.
Fair play, it is a boring programme and a boring presenter, I'll give him that.
But he writes that every
That was probably
morning.
The last 5 minutes when I was on.
When you
I
were presenting.
reckon.
No, he listens every morning, so he obviously enjoys being bored.
Well, look, Brian, thanks very much indeed. We appreciate your continued lack of support. That's it. That's your lot, guys. Thank you to everyone who took part in the show. Don't forget, you can get the Best of podcast by going to iTunes and typing in Iain Lee, and we are considering the possibility of putting out a little bonus podcast of various bits and pieces of today's show, just because we all thought that the chat that we had with Paul Dodds, who was on one of the trains 10 years ago, was it all touched us. So we'll see about putting that out as a separate podcast. Right, let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Maxine, well, on the M1, really slow northbound, 13 to 14, much busier than normal heading up towards Milton Keynes. Just be aware that the M1 in Northamptonshire shuts between junctions 16 and 18, possibly until midday for a surfacing work after an accident late last night. There's a queue from junction 15, long delays also on the diversion route, which is the A5 and also the A4 to 8 and the A45. Northbound A5, by the way, into Towcester, long queues this morning. As for the A10, very busy into London this morning, south of the M25, and And as for trains, generally a good service. Just be aware, though, if you are heading into London, delays on the Eurostar to the continent because of problems within the Channel Tunnel this morning. James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, James. Excellent stuff as always. If you want to send me an email, you're more than welcome to, dear listener. Iain.lee, IAIN.LEE at bbc.co.uk. Thank you to Justin, who's played a blinder. Kelly, thank you. Catherine, have you got time for that chat today?
I'm busy. Oh, go on then. Won't take long, will it?
Well, you're on the list.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Tuesday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone In, would you like the shops to be open all day on a Sunday? Shops in England and Wales could be allowed to open for longer on Sundays under plans to be unveiled by the Chancellor George Osborne. The proposal, expected in Wednesday's budget, could give elected mayors and councils powers to relax laws locally if it might boost economic activity. Current laws allow smaller shops to open all day, but restrict bigger shops to just 6 hours. Well, this morning on the Big Phone In, I want to hear from you. Would you like the shops to be open all day on a Sunday? Give me a call with your thoughts on 03459